All right, we're back, everyone. Thanks for sticking with us. Couple tech issues here. It is the luck of the draw, as they say. But it's all solved for now. Back in with the game. We'll catch you up to speed with where we left off. Fearless Furies, VFA Dragons, head-to-head, the one here. Getting back in, still seems like Fearless Furies slightly further ahead in the soul count. 15k to play with and making money moves up on Broadway.
Yeah, I mean, Cycle has just gotten way further ahead than we expected. To be honest with you, it's not been the craziest stomps of all time, if I'm quite perfectly honest. I mean, 120k to 95k, I have seen much larger stomps. I think the VFA Dragons have put up a pretty good fight, all things considered, especially even in the laning phase. I think that laning phase could have gotten a lot worse versus some other teams. I think the VFA Dragons certainly held their own there. But yeah, as soon as Fargareko was able to start roaming, allowing Nakaman as well as Cycle just to farm up in their lanes respectively and grab that jungle, yeah, it gets hard. It gets very, very hard.
Yeah, pressure's going to start mounting on you. Things will certainly begin to change. We saw a lot of impact from Fargareko as well before things went down there on the stream. It was really just the influence of Bebop hooks, some aggressive map control from him where he was being able to establish some good fights for Fearless Furies. Overall, seems like the comp's working pretty nicely. And it's been fun seeing this with GT as well. Chase at the minute here. One of their backline knock up from the barrel. It's a good flick around, chase in. We're going to see if Dexter can be the damage dealer as the fist's thrown out. And they do lose down on Arian. Quick spot on towards Pocket as well. Seeing if they can get a little bit more back over here. Might have bitten off a bit more than you can chew. Still got a ton of stock from Fearless Furies in close proximity. They're able to keep this one going in good stead.
Yeah, Dexter tries to get the high ground advantage, but immediately dropped down by ground strike of all things. A lot of damage pouring in here. E3's going to try and keep themselves alive with a concussive combustion, but not meant to be, as Fearless Furies continue to clean house here. A full wipe over towards VFA Dragons, and most likely the mid-boss will be claimed after this. On 134k to 103, likely this game should end fairly soon. Not that second flex slot even found yet for VFA Dragons.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a rough one to play with on this now. Play mid-boss, set yourself up for victory and roll on with the punches. You know, we were expecting this to be a relatively close game as well, thinking there might be some good fight from VFA Dragons. We did see a lot of that in the laning phase. A couple bits we missed as well and blip towards the middle. It's by no means a bad game from them, but now it's going to get a whole lot worse to attempt to control. Get the 3 rejuves there, Mirage, Warden, and Lash to play with. At least just looking to see if they can try and create some space on this one. Keep York slightly more shoved. Pushed up on the Viscous. Going to need to backpedal, though, off the grouping. We do take down Fargareko, at least by about 20 seconds of timing to play with. But they do try and dive deep round on Greenwich. Nice use of the lasso. Good damage as well with a follow-up barrel.
Yeah, Amplifier's just out of there with the grapple. Hard to keep that boy in place. Honestly, the problem is for E3 is he's just not been able to farm enough this game. I think a lot of it has been denied from him. Still doing some fantastic damage though, as Cycle, their most fed member, will go down, but the rejuve in hand will come straight back up to life, and this becomes a tough fight, a really brutal fight in fact. Dexter doing some great damage over towards Amplify, will be able to take him down, and Cycle will use the tornado to dodge the shoulder charge of anything.
Yeah, trying to just bypass his way through. Running an absolute train up Broadway at this point, though. 5 dead on the stagger. The Shadowran that remains alive on the Pocket. Forced to just shove back over. See if you can reset on the incoming wave towards York. Buy a little bit of additional time for that base Guardian to remain alive. Meanwhile, they can dogpile in through the front. So Broadway base Guardian's gone. Expect both of the shrines to fall very quickly here as well.
I think they could easily take down a lot of damage been poured through onto that bad boy. I would imagine we're looking for a reset here, wait for Deathslam to come back up online, and then regress with that one. Cycle can happily push in the side lane here with Traveler still on board, provide some extra fire rate, some additional buffs over towards his teammates when he does eventually come back in. Been very effective with this tornado so far, and Cycle's been playing a very calm and chilled out game. For VFA Dragons, this is their final stand, and I do think the issue comes from Shadarian having majority of the soul count. That's probably come with the fact that he's been able to get a couple of kills on board, but realistically wanted those souls over towards Renjiro as well as E3.
Yeah, I need to distribute the wealth here. make sure they're stocked to play with. At least trying to deathball somewhat as well to mitigate it if they could find picks to build off of. It's been really good use from Yonosora with that actual holiday lasso. So there's always room to try and catch one player isolated and build from it. Bit of a harass from Darling though. Got the read, heard the audio cues on the chase around, looking to set up for it. Should be able to get out of dodge.
Yeah, very heavy gun investment on the Paradox as well, which is kind of cool to see, honestly. It's been a while. You see a lot more of the bomb builds these days, but Alkfire, crippling headshot too. I mean, overall, that's a hefty debuff. Likely after cycle will be building into inhibitor late game anyway. So it's because you've got crippling headshot procking as well as inhibitor. It's tough to do any damage once you get to that stage of the game. You've got the GT just to follow up with the nasty arrows.
Yeah, get the big burst damage on top. Make sure you can take this one home. Dexter's deep in. You can see the HP bar just rapidly dwindling. First to fall. Needs to follow up back onto Darlings, take the Paradox out of commission for a few seconds, try and buy some respite.
Oh, no.
You need a clean defense on this one. That's just not going that way. Comfortable now to slip in towards the patron pit. They're going to make sure they can finish things off, get the dive up the top as well with the Death Slam, just for a style point finish. So Fearless Furies closing it down there in the BO1 and making it through with ease.
Yeah, lovely stuff from Fearless Furies overall. Good to see as well. They're still in action and very, very much promising as a team.
Let's go. So, we got back into the game a bit late, but we still got some action out of it. So I think that was a win for us as well. Jacky, what did you see from that game that stuck out to you that now they'll be able to see them more in the future as well? You're excited to see out of this team.
Yeah, I think again it's one of those where every time you see Fearless Furies play, there's always just a lot of good synergy in terms of the individuals, but the mechanics do just go to another level as well. Very good sort of setups in the way that they instigate fights, right? Like you can see the assist potential. Fargareko on the bebop, he was just able to always put the other team at a disadvantage with some of the well-placed hooks. Really just good communication. I think that's something that always shines through every time we've seen Fearless Furies play. You can see that the comms are just always on point.
Yeah, they're really tight, really good team. Yeah. Fearless. I like it. Their name matches up, and I like it a lot. I'm excited to see them play some more, honestly, into this tournament. Looks like we also have the results of the other side of the bracket, and we have a semi-match ready for later on, so that's exciting. But yeah, sorry about that, guys. We're dealing with a couple of tech issues on our end. It's just a couple of sound issues we've sorted out, but we're back. We're going to continue the stream and keep on chugging, Blake.
Yes, we are. I mean, we already have some teams going through towards semis. If we take a little look over towards the bracket itself, so we're going to have Team Bean going up against Jogazi, which is one of our semi-finals. So we already have teams making it through towards those semis and on their way to DLDM champions, which is super cool to see already. But yeah, we'll be heading over, I think, next to watch Hydronation versus Fearless Furies. So we'll follow Fearless Furies from that last match into this one, which should be exciting.
Hopefully we'll be able to watch that one from beginning to end, and that should be a banger, Jacky. Hydronation versus Fearless Furies. My goodness, this is a stacked tournament, isn't it?
Yeah, tons of talent. Always very fun to watch. Obviously, sort of different flavor of Deadlock as well. Obviously, you have to factor in a little bit as well, playing at that slight disadvantage with the ping conditions. European servers for Season 1's qualifier, NA servers for Season 2. But I mean, they're no strangers to it, right? They've been playing in so many different tournaments where they've had to kind of factor that in. And I think one of the things that goes above and beyond there really is just very aggressive players that can contend with it, even at a ping disadvantage blank. We've seen them swing for the hills.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Hydronation, they're just such an incredible team overall. I mean, they have just been dominant at the top of NA for a long time. And there have been several teams just in and out from the NA circuit, but Hydronation is one of the few of them that has stuck together for a long while within the esports circuit. It's cool to see. I'm glad they signed up, honestly. I mean, they will be playing at ping disadvantage, like you're saying, but if they're happy to do it, they're happy to do it.
Yeah, that's the thing. This tournament is available to anyone. Yeah, we're rotating from EU to NA based on, season to season. But no matter what, everyone from any region is available to sign up. You just have to accept the ping difference, maybe for one season. But looks like they did. Hydronation coming out swinging. I'm excited to see what they can come out with, Jacky. It'll be quite interesting.
No, absolutely. I think it should be good. This is what we were saying, right? As we get closer and closer towards kind of the semi-final games and how things are going, you start to get some of the sort of more intense matchups with teams that are going to be looking to not only sort of come here today for a bit of experience, but possibly for some of the earlier bracket rounds, right? You're looking at teams that are just looking to have a bit of fun. It was quite
nice. Serious.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a bit of a change in the air, right? We had some teams that were formed sort of just through the Dead Air community with the Discord. Now we're in the big leagues. This is where, you know, you've got to make sure you have the swimming shorts before you get in the pool and the goggles, because there will be splash.
Exactly. So pull up some popcorn, get some water if you haven't already, stay hydrated for Hydronation, and we will be back very shortly with more games for you to enjoy on your Deadlock Friday. Don't go anywhere.
Hello everyone, it's us, Dead Air. Myself, Jacky, and of course Blank are in position to give you a much needed update on Deadlock Deathmatch.
And as you can see, we're in the brand new Dead Air merch, which you'll probably find at some point soon. But we just wanted to take you through a format explainer for DLDM, coming soon.
It is indeed. So for now, enjoy this.
Good evening, gladiators. Dead Air is proud to present our full tournament explainer and Q&A video. So let's kick it off with some of the most asked questions we've seen from you, the Deadlock community. What is the format and how does it work? Deadlock Deathmatch is going to be a monthly tournament that will cycle between 2 regions each season, Europe and North America. We'll start with our Deadlock Deathmatch Challengers Open Qualifier that will begin on August 8th, with up to 32 teams being able to battle it out for 4 spots. Those 4 spots will guarantee you participation in Deathmatch Champions Season 1. The first region that we're going to be covering will be Europe, and will be played exclusively on European servers. But we want to make it clear that we won't be excluding anyone from signing up, no matter what region you're from. But we would like to stress that all games will have to be played on European servers for Season 1. How do I sign up? We know you've all been very curious as to how to sign up to Deadlock Deathmatch, and we're happy to say that sign-ups are now open. They're linked below the video, so please take your time to gather your fellow combatants and click the link in the description. This will take you to our dedicated Dead Air Faceit hub, where you can get involved with our Season 1 Challengers Open Qualifier. Also, please join the Dead Air Discord, linked below again as well, so that you can get set up with the right roles and receive critical information about the tournament for teams and players alike. Is Deadlock Deathmatch only for professional teams? We've heard you loud and clear asking whether or not this tournament is exclusively for pro teams, and we're happy to say there is no restriction as to who can play in Deadlock Deathmatch. We encourage teams of all skill levels to get involved with our open qualifiers at the beginning of each season. The competition will be fierce though, and only the top challengers will be able to rise to the occasion, making it through to champions from the top 4. There is plenty of room for teams though, with our sign-ups being capped at 32 teams in the open bracket qualifier. So, either brave the melee and rise to the top to enter the Colosseum with your fellow champions, or simply enjoy a day of scheduled competitive Deadlock and gain experience in the arena. The choice is yours. Champions and challengers. Talking about champions and challengers, let's break that down a bit so it's really clear for you all. Deadlock Deathmatch Challengers is where our all-out combatants will take part in an open qualifier that will lead you into the planned season of Deadlock Deathmatch Champions. To become a champion, you need to work your way through our open bracket and make it into at least the semi-finals. The preceding games will then be seeding matchups, where we'll determine the rankings of the 4 teams that have made it through and how they'll play against each other in a head-to-head format going into Deadlock Deathmatch Champions. DLDM Champions will take place over a 3-week season. Each week will crown a champion who stood tall amongst the rest, coming first in that week's bracket. At the end of the 3 weeks, the team with the most crowns will be your Season 1 winners and exit the Colosseum to fight another day. But winning the most crowns is not an easy task, for you see, each week you defend the crown, it will weigh heavier and heavier upon your head. The audience will have the opportunity to strip you of one hero for each week you hold the title, meaning you need to get creative and be prepared to shake up the meta when it matters most. We never said that remaining on top in the Colosseum would be easy. Curses and blessings. Are you not entertained? No, seriously, were you? It's not a rhetorical question, because as the audience in Deadlock Deathmatch Champions regular season, you have the opportunity to inflict a curse or bestow a blessing to one of our teams. By dropping either a thumbs up or thumbs down in the chat when we poll for a selected team, you'll see them gain that curse or receive a blessing from one of the many tarot cards we've prepared in our deck at random. Now, we don't want to give you all of the specifics of every single tarot card right now, as we'd love to save some surprises when we make it to Deadlock Deathmatch Champions. These cards will have no effect and won't be used over the course of the open qualifier when you attempt to make it through our Deadlock Deathmatch challenges each month. For now though, let's give you a brief overview of a few of them. Blessings could range from an additional wave of Trooper Souls at the start of the game to one of our higher value cards, the Sun card. Those lucky enough to pull this card have the opportunity to steal a pick from their opponents during the draft phase. Similarly, curses will range from losing a ban in the draft phase to our least desirable card. Pulling this would result in you receiving the Pestilence Plague itself, turning you into a frog for a brief period of time.
Hello and welcome back, everybody, to Deadlock Deathmatch. Semi-final number 1 territory here. So both of these two teams will be at least top 4, meaning, of course, they're eligible for prize money. That's sweet Skrilla and qualification through to Deadlock Deathmatch Champions Blank. So a lot on the line here, obviously, in terms of seeding when we get closer towards challengers, when King of the Hill and the tarot cards come into effect, but obviously just for the actual pride on the line here as well in terms of the finish.
Absolutely. So we're going to be getting into this one very shortly now. We do have 2 semi-finals we'll be watching. We're starting off with Lotos versus Beans on Toast, which should be a good one. We do have Sanya Sniper, the one and only, back in the mix right now, who appears to be on the Viper of all things, which should be really exciting to watch. I know that me and you are both big fans of Mr. Sanya.
Oh yeah, Zander Sniper, very, very talented, incredibly fun to watch. Obviously, I think, most notably, we kind of connect the synapses with his Haze gameplay, but Viper would also be particularly enjoyable. I think one of the key things that sticks out for him, very, very quick reaction times, like unbelievably fast decision making with how he's able to pivot on a dime and always hit those 6 shots. I think, yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that when we get into this one, I mean, we can look at the draft in just a second, but just to go over things right now, we do have 2 bans coming through from either side for Lash and Mirage for Lotos, as well as for Beans on Toast. They've banned away 7 and Paradox. Paradox has been a bit of a big deal today in terms of actually saving a lot of players, and not only that, but doing quite a bit of damage as well. Various builds also thrown into the mix. We saw more of a time bomb build, as well as more of a gun focused build too. So very, very fun to see. Also, we have Wraith back in the mix right now for Beans on Toast, which is certainly interesting. Though a very, very scary lineup at the moment for Lotos.
Oh yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting game. Potential for a lot of sparks to fly. Lotus is certainly going to be coming out swinging. We know the sort of caliber they're going to be working with, so expect to see something similar there. But that's the draft. We'll get our teams readied up and then get into this one and kick off the action.
Indeed, we will. So let's get into this one as soon as possible. Very, very excited to see the Vindicta Warden lane finally in action. I think we got it banned out quite a few times today, but we're jumping in right now. But yeah, Vindicta Warden, horrible lane to play up against. Mo and Krill, kind of the only pick here, hero alongside with the Holiday. Curious to see how that happened, but Viscous was picked away, so we don't have any case of the Goku coming through to save the Holiday and Moncro combo.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. A lot of lockdown, a lot of potential for sparks to fly on this one. Relatively fun comps in terms of what we've got. So we'll see. Players just loading into the lobby now. So action will be on screen shortly here for our first semi-finals. Of course, both of these teams have made it through to Deadlock Deathmatch Champions as well. We'll see how it works out, though, in terms of the results, prize money, seeding, and all that good stuff. Let's kick it off and get into the action on this one.
So straight into it here. It looks like we're running the pocket over towards Broadway to start things off. The Infernus Viper lane as well, so pretty terrifying lane to come into. A lot of damage very quickly. Up against the Viscous Warden, so the Vindicta not actually playing alongside with the Warden here, Jacky.
No, bit of a switch up, so keeping you guessing in terms of locations there for the double lockdown potential. You do have Sanya Sniper over on the old Viper on York side, looking for a bit of an off angle early on. We'll see what sort of shenanigans are being pulled out there. Obviously, don't worry too much about the HUD and the name tags. Get that updated shortly so everything reflects what you need to know.
Curious to see how much damage you're going to be seeing coming through from Sinclair, because I'm surprised we didn't see more. Sinclair today has been a bit of a bully over towards a lot of our objectives in game at the moment, as well as doing a huge amount of damage just in general with the Vexing Bolt, which is even more of a big deal. What a dive in from the Yamato.
That's a deep dive. Hey, looking for the follow-up on it. I mean, both of them relatively low here. Response back over from Pyro, burns his way through the first. Alt 5 round of the corner, predicting the right side roll, and he started stepping back. You've got backup from Sinclair as well, goes into it, slash round the corner. and it's enough to finish things off there. So instantly, good dive in, so much control over Greenwich to kick this one off. You get the escape play on the Infernus as well, supported by Sanya on York side, so no pin in position there.
Yeah, trying to get as much damage done as possible again for the Infernus as well as the Viper. A lot of push potential, honestly. Viper struggles a little bit more in terms of a whole clip often being needed to take down the Trooper, but Flame Dash as well as Afterburn, and then just the poke underneath the tower with Venom that's been able to apply. All these things really do make up for quite an aggressive lane from Infernus as well as Viper. So right now, a lot of the Viscous as well as the Warden's job at the moment is just to clear those lanes as fast as possible. That means you're investing spatter on towards Troopers instead of the heavy amount of damage it can be done in terms of poke and lane. It's a bit rough.
Can certainly be a kind of whip-ass that gets opened up fairly regularly in your general direction. Namesake here, a beans on toast. The Bean himself attempting to back off on the Holiday, getting a lot of shove on this from Lotos, keeping the lane pushed out relatively aggressively. So good harassment over on that Park lane throughout the flow of things here in the first 3 minutes. Bit of roaming as well from Rayek. Again, sort of, you know, there's a fair amount of overlap between Rayek and Sanya with how they'll rotate the roles. Very aggressive characters in the way they like to play this. You think of your assassins, up close, good damage. You can see even here, the skills certainly translate between them both. If you're thinking of Lotos and quick sleep daggers, that will be happening no matter which one of them is playing.
Yeah, it's a shame as well not to see Cosmetico on the signature shiv, and that's a 3-minute 30 Guardian already down between Pyro as well as Coffin. But yeah, I think if Cosmetico's not playing shiv, then maybe shiv is dead. I don't know. We'll see. We'll wait and see.
You never know, man. If Cosmetic was turning the other cheek, maybe it's a bit of a different age. Sanya, though, looking for the getaway on the Viper. Quick decision-making, tucks in, you get the dip in through the Vow with space, attempting to keep himself alive. It's a great timing on the cube. Get a bit of a heal up, dive in from the both of them. Flame dash round the corner to make it more awkward, and that's focused fire being put onto the Warden. Clean up in lane that you were looking for, at least. Space having to deviate all the way back towards the Guardian. 1-for-1 trade as the Viper falls. Quick mow and krill pin as he grabs the combo. It's Pocket in position. Snipe just for the damage to at least soften up Pocket so Cosmetical doesn't feel the extra air of confidence to overstay in lane. Got to back up a little bit here. Wait for the respawn on Rayek.
Yeah, I mean, at least there you are able to see Ruben as well as Crow take down the Guardian, so they get one for themselves at the very least over towards Lotos. It's not the earliest to go in, but regardless of that, it should be okay. Awkward maneuver there with the binding word as well. In comes the splat, and Kakazo will be taken out.
Quick ball called in as well. Space back and forth crash. Gets 2 layers of damage before he has to dip out of there and marble the whole way back towards the Curiosity shop. Should have a good bit of room to push on this at least. Potential to actually grab that Guardian now. 3 players deep up on York side. Support coming over from Rayek. And they're just going to dump the damage on this. Power the Viper again, of course. Unload the magazine, rip your way through it. And that'll give them a fair bit more stock to work with. Already shoved out deep onto Greenwich early. That Guardian was the first to fall. There goes the second, so only Broadway remains.
I think when you look at that as well, with the Vexing Bolt being engaged there, Sinclair just having a good old roam, just creating those situations where it's a bit more of a nice snipe going through from Ruben. A bit more of a overwhelming lane for you. This is kind of what you want to see from Sinclair in general anyway, is just to get a lot of damage, a lot of use case around the map early on in the game, where that Hex can still be effective. Everyone's not got a huge amount of movement speed just yet and able to dash out of them too quickly. That combo, it does do a lot actually. That was an incredible follow-up.
Wow, yeah, you thought for a second there was no backup, then instantly telekinesis slapped on you, 6 cards straight to the face, call that a royal flush. A good play from Names, being able to assist over onto Crow. Crow still keeps going as well, straight and narrow, just like the Crow flies, seeing if you can really pile on the damage. Response back over the top from Pyro, instantly looking for revenge on the prior death. got back up on this one. Full auto called in from the back line with at least an assist there being put out by Name still. It's not being able to fully commit to this. Sideline sweep coming over, that space that rocks up to the party. Good wall bounce into the shot down. Trying to keep him guessing. Good timing at least to get a bit of chip damage back, but low on HP here. Needs the assist. That's the shadow transformation forced out.
Yeah, a good bit of healing coming through from Slash as well. Keep it life a little bit longer, but the goo ball's not done just yet. Space will find another. It comes swinging through the corridors. In comes a goo cube, keeping Rayek in position. The Guardian can't quite do the final bit of damage, but Crow will finish that one up there. And this is a nice comeback coming from Beads on Toast, honestly. And I think that a lot of it comes down to just the follow-up. I mean, even just that fight, that engagement over towards Pyro, where Crow starting that one off into the card, barrel, splatter, all coming through. Felt like the Avengers had arrived.
Yeah, the theme music is certainly playing. And silence is falling over the battlefield. Damage done. Last stand going to be baited out here. Oh, combustion, but just after the tick. Suppulsive damage going through. Slight sustainability from it, but not enough to burn down through Kakazo. So the Infernus able to live to fight another day. Dogpiling the damage back on towards Broadway as well. Making sure they can try and clear out the oncoming creep wave. Do lose the Guardian off the back of it. So Beans on Toast, finally losing that middle Guardian as well.
Kind of an unfortunate turn there from Jacky as well, where he just looks away as the sun goes through, which means his last stand's not actually ticking onto Kakazo. Trying to get as much of this early jungle done as possible as well, with it being a little bit more valuable to you in the early game. Cosmetical immediately combat. I mean, as soon as you see that briefcase go through, Crow doesn't waste any time on that one.
Yeah, it's good. Bait out the briefcase, leave yourself sustainable to the combo, get the follow-up damage that comes in as well from the quick comms. So Beans on Toast actually giving some relatively good comeback in a lot of these fights. You can see they understand the flow here. Looking for picks, trying to weaken Lotus overall. Go for those preferential bouts. Good push back out from Kakazo at least. Flame dash across, burn out the creep, get the early chip damage back in so they can't overcommit onto this. Trying to see if they can test the waters of how far they can shove these legs. See if they can get themselves closer towards that flex.
So very close so far, 44 to 47. I'm sort of surprised by how well Beans on Toast have been able to hold their own here, which is really, really good to see. And I hope this improvement only continues into the future for this squad. New names on the block here going up against Lotus. Pyro just piling on the souls at the moment, though, 9.4k, and that is a worrisome prospect for the future of Beans on Toast. Bean attempts to get out, but will get squashed in the end. Sanya Sniper will come through as well over towards the Wraith and pick up the kill there. Names will go down. That's singular, by the way.
Yeah, just the one name, actually. Fair play to Sanya as well in the head-to-head on that one. You had to be quick about it. It nearly was the freebie, 4 names on the coffin as well. So it would have literally been in a box there. Not the magic type that Sinclair would be used to. So good response back, keeps things going. So you get that 6-second respawn once again for Sanya coming back up. So slightly muddy timing before you're back in play to assist. Deeper dive again on York. There's been a lot of pressure consistently applied on this.
Yeah, the biggest thing right now for Lotus has been able to hold on to this Guardian for such a long time, and they're putting a lot of stock into protecting it too here. Jacky, 4 players sent across. They want to prevent Beans on Toast from getting that first flex slot, especially as we head further and further towards that mid-game now. They were just exiting the early game. You do not want to give up that initial flex slot, and so you can just continue to pile on the damage as you get more souls, and you can build more of those items out.
Big chase onto space, and now he is going to be void. Echo chamber left on that one. So you shut down the Viscous, get a bit more room to build yourself into this with an even larger soul lead as well, as Ray8 can make the run over. Make sure they deposit the urn, keep things shoved. Deep presence on York's side, and that's just only names that's in position to try and put up the rotate wall. Speaking of which, you've got the back line. Okay, Mo and Krill, Holiday making moves over. Let's see if Bean and Crow can deal some damage on this. Get a nice grab off.
Yeah, that'd be the hope. Not quite able to collapse on this one. Sanya Sniper still out in position. There's a near miss on the stake there as well, as Sanya just slides away. Slippery fellow. It's down towards the pit. And will attempt to leave here, but there is backup on the way, and they're looking to collapse as he escapes from mid-boss, heading back up the stairs. Again, just the smooth moves. Heather again set down. Another near miss, and Sanya Sniper unstakeable.
Yeah, unmistakable maneuvers from the Viper. So annoying as well. You've invested so much into it. The frustration, assassinate just on the getaway, seeing if you could deal some nice chip damage at least, but no connection onto that. Like you said, both of those stakes. Quick thinking, but just smoother moves from Zander on the Viper. Knock-on effect again being as well. Additional presence that goes uncontested round towards Greenwich. They grab that Walker with both hands. Here's the fight that could work out for them. Beans on toast, trying to gobble down on this one here at Broadway. You get a bit of a spread through. One initial knock taken down on Rayake. Response back's good. Vexing Bolt up close and personal. Magician making you disappear. And even more impact added from Cosmetical.
Fat damage coming through from Cosmetical. Comes straight through with the cloak into the briefcase, opening up with the affliction, and that just makes life very, very difficult. I mean, the area effect damage on that team is actually pretty high, especially with Flame Dash, as well as Cosmetical and Coffin in the mix. Sinclair and Pocket combined, so it is a tough position where if you get yourself far up a lane, they are quick to lay on the hurt. So a difficult team to play into, and I think the Beans and Toast are struggling here, where they're looking for these picks, not quite able to find them. They picked up Rayake, but was that really the player that was necessary to take down there?
Nice quick dagger. Love to see the reaction times on that one. Rayake at least creating space back versus Ruben. And this could start to unfold into a little bit of a slippery affair as well. You get the follow-up back over on the Bean, so there goes your Holiday. Further pick potential removed from this roster with the surviving 4 that you have at this point. Still got combo to play with. Last stand in the back pocket as well. Backdoor action. Sanya making the maneuver in to guarantee control of Broadway against the Walker here as well, so everyone just focus fire on that. You're cleaning house with these objectives. It's about a minute delay finding the first Walker into taking control of Broadway. Smooth moves for the get out. Trying to use the melee for the reposition as well. Barely dodging and diving.
Oh my days. How has Sanya got out of there? That's incredible. Rayake will be the regular sacrifice on the cards here for Lotos, but not a massive deal for them. Good catch on the lasso, but where's the follow-up? Not really anything there for them as Cosmetical attempts to make his way out of here. Gonna try and pass through the side lane, through to the jungle tier 3 camps, but it's going to be a difficult escape for him. I don't think he's going to be long for this world. Cosmetical goes down to very low HP. In the meantime, Ruben will be picked up by Pyro. But again, there's just a lot of spirit damage coming through, which is allowing them to really shred through these walkers alongside with Sanya just being that added gun damage on the top. It's tough. It's very, very tough for Beans on Toast to hold on to these objectives.
Yeah, struggling. He is getting a little bit more problematic the longer this one goes on. Especially with only having the 1 Walker left to defend as well. Focus fire from it, from Lotos, but so much more pressure on your actual map presence. They can keep these lanes shoved and start to get a good flow of the action. Kakazo trying to dip out back towards the safety zone. Just the halfway mark of the lane with Viscous inflicting a little bit of damage onto him there. You got the roam from Sanya as well, catching whiff. Just for a little bit of a reposition back around, looking to set up for the control on the urn on this one with Coffin running it.
Yeah, trying to force a fight here. Again, I think it's difficult, and I imagine this is more a case of just maybe kidnapping the urn. I think versus Warden, Vindicta, Mo, and Krill, Viscous, you don't really want to put yourself in a tight position, especially all 6 right now. I think Lotus is having a lot of success of just roaming the map, taking objectives, and slowly getting stronger and stronger. They're putting themselves in a position where they want that Infernus as well as the Yamato to be ahead enough that when we get to those team fights, they can carry the team through there.
I mean, they're baiting quite a lot of attention away, at least, as well. Got 3 of the 6 over here, with the Warden, Mo, and Krill, and Holiday just basically playing a wild goose chase up against the haze that gets them guessing. This is the POV of Rayake now. Good chip damage done. Instant sleep dagger. Last stand going to be forced out as well. Trying to recover from that. Getting the shots down from above, trying to find the angle to play with, whilst Pyro does the damage in the front line. Sanya's got to focus on getting away, but more than enough delay tactics have been done here. Good close quarters engagement as well. Last stand's already been used. The Warden can't use that bad boy to buy time anymore. Slapped against against the wall, even with the Viscous doing everything he can to displace those crosshairs. Just looking to get out now. Grapple into the back, instant Q, but I think your days are numbered on this one.
Yeah, pretty cheesy gameplay, I would say, coming through from Lotos. I mean, Zander is fantastic when it comes to movement, but it is a case where they're putting so much stock into taking him down early. Maybe a little bit too much stock, as it is starting to crash here, where Zander's got the moves to escape.
That damage on the Walker as well. You know, you've got those staggered respawns. Names are so low. Barely outside the radius, being able to get the catch there. Still, the poison was inflicted. He will still go down. So Names taken out. Walker still standing, at least for now, but you can still see the amount of objective damage they're being able to squeeze out from this one, just with a push on the lanes. Keeping Broadway entirely shoved up towards the base Guardians, getting resets on Greenwich each time as well. And that urn has just been stalemated consistently. So no real option for a comeback mechanic to be thrown out by Beans on Toast. Soul Lead still very decent as well for Lotos here.
Yeah, I mean, the distraction plays are just working well. I mean, for Pyro as well as Kakazo, this is getting to a point in the game where it's going to be very, very hard to deal with either of these players into the future. I don't think they have too much to prevent them. I mean, they have the lockdown available, but with Pyro picking up the debuff remover as well, it starts to become less of an issue, especially with Shadow Transformation. They can't afford to send the telekinesis. They can't afford to send the lasso. They'd have to be super quick on the combo to make anything happen there, and it has to be a surprise play. And by the time they do that again, setting that type of play up for Bees and Toast is just wasting too much time.
Yeah, and the thing is, these have been relatively aggressive responses back in. As we can see, Lotos wanted to set up for mid-boss about 4 minutes ago now, how they were playing this one. But the fight just hasn't slowed down. Off the respawns, they're just chaining into it. It's a good grab at least. Half HP onto Pyro, pops out the Shadow Transformation. You get the dive in, last stand over the top. Instant assist from Zander. The bowler slows them in place. Clamber up, seeing if they can get a nice chase onto this. But the movement from Pyro's keeping them guessing. Finally, they found their man, and they're able to get the damage on top. So finish off onto one of them. More follow-ups back over though as Lotos get let loose, and they chain these together. One by one, the dominoes falling. It's only Jacky that's left alive on that Warden, just trying to piece out of there.
You can see, like, they have to add so much damage over towards Pyro. They have to invest so much. You got combo, telekinesis thrown into the mix, and it's just not enough because Pyro's able to live for so damn long after debuff remover, Shadow Transformation into a second debuff remover in that fight. Yeah, it's not easy for Beans on Toast, and I think they realize the game starts to get away from them, especially with the Jacky pick of Warden into the Sinclair. Now you're having a case where you're consistently playing up against Last Stand as well, where Coffin's able to get a lot of use case out of his. So it's very difficult. It's very, very difficult. So by the time they're able to pick up Pyro, the rest of the team's already down. There has been a lot of hostaging of this urn, as you say. It's finally in the hands of Beans on Toast, but you'd imagine it's a bit late at this point.
Yeah, that was Jacky. Obviously, is the solo. Kind of made the heads-up call to grab the urn, run it back up Greenwich side, and deposit it into the base to at least try and maybe force a disadvantage fight here. You've got the free rejuves to work with. Looking for quick picks on this one. This has to be very clean for Beans on Toast. They find themselves the first. That's a nice hard shutdown over onto Coffin. So Sinclair's out to play for 30. Trying to do some more damage as well. Back over onto Viper. Zander does have one of the rejuvenators to work with. Forcing the space out with Jackson being caught away from the group. Near miss on the snipe as well. Nutmegs right down the middle. Viscous on the clash, forcing out the Shadow Transformation from Pyro. But this is going far better for Lotos than Beans on Toast hoped for. Just down to 2 players, low HP bars. You're imagining Beans going to fall here. That'll be the clean wipe and basically 30 seconds of uncontested time to just rip through Patron Stage 1 Beans.
It's a smart play from Kazo as well to send over this side, especially having rejuvenation credit. Had the counter spell, fair bit of healing as well on board alongside with this character. So you just have a situation where even if they're able to take down Kakazo, he buys enough time with the delay on the revive from Rejuvenator that they could effectively get up to help him. But he forced 2 players off. That Walker's all but gone. Zander Sniper's also able to play aggressively using this Rejuvenator, even more so than before. And Beans on Toast struggling with target focus.
Yeah, it's the investment as well. The ult economy always being used really to shut down Pyro, leaves them so susceptible to everything else. And you can see Lotos are confident, don't even reset, have no need to. One final fight, and this should go cleanly for them. Picking them off one by one, keeping the damage applied to the patron intermittently as well. And that's going to be Lotos taking the semi-final spot there, advancing to our grand final. More prize money, and of course, both of these teams make it through the Deadlock Deathmatch champions.
Which is amazing to see, honestly. Lotos, very fantastic play for Beans on toast. They have a really good opportunity in the future now to just get some more games underneath their belt and continue to improve.
Honestly, that was a really close match. That was really great, first of all. Secondly, no matter how this turned out, both of these teams have qualified to Deadlock Deathmatch champions. So let's go. That's sick. But otherwise, yeah, it was really just Lotos. We're slightly ahead with it. And Beans on Toast were ever so slightly behind. They just couldn't, I don't know. But either way, Beans on the floor. Now Lotos go through. We'll see what they're capable of next. And we will also be able to see Fearless Fury versus the Dragons in a second. So that'll be exciting. That's our next matchup in our next semi-final blank.
Yeah, it will be Fearless Furies, I believe, going up against Hydra Nation up next. Team JKW, who are otherwise known as Hydra Nation, which is going to be good to see. That should be a fun match to watch for us.
Yes.
We have been holding on to that one for a little while now, so we're going to be getting to that shortly. We do have some housekeeping to get through first.
Yes. Sorry about that. That is the correct match. Good job, Blank. Pat on the back there, keeping you on your toes. That's what, But otherwise, we will have a quick look at the prize breakdown and just have a look at what these teams are fighting for other than a spot at Deadlock Deathmatch champions. There are lots of prizes on the line from first place to fourth place alongside an MVP artisan mouse mat retail value at $100. Not to even mention the Face It points, Jacky.
Yeah, Face It points for everyone. Yeah, shout out to Face It as well, of course. Very nice of them to partner with us for this. Gave us 30,000 Face It points for the tournament, which means everyone, no matter where you place, even if that's 17th to 32nd, just for taking part, you earn some Face It points. So very cool there. Thank you so much to Face It for that one. And then, of course, the prize pool itself. It's been put up by Dead Air here. So the $120 first place prize, and then slightly less, of course, as it breaks down, with third and fourth being tied there, $45 each. So you still earn some money for your investment in the arena. And of course, it's that big picture item, Blank, of being able to come back for the weeklies for the King of the Hill format with champions.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very, very excited for it indeed. And we are getting to that point now where we are in a position to have our teams heading through. We do have one more semis coming up before we head towards those grand finals. Want to make sure we can take a look at all the teams that we participate in DLDM champions in the future. I think it's been a good day at Deadlock so far.
Yeah, we've got some good talent on Deadlock Deathmatch champions. This is going to be a good amount of fun for the next 3 weeks. We will get into the draft shortly, but I am excited to see what we have in store. And overall, it's sizing up to be a pretty good pool of competition. I'm excited to see names that we do know, names that we've discovered through the open qualifiers, and there will be plenty more. So if you didn't get your chance to sign up to this open qualifier, we will be having another one, NA edition. So stay tuned for that one, Jacky.
Yeah, keeping it going for obviously the different regions there as well. We love all the Deadlock regions. I think at some point in the future as well, maybe it'd be fun. Maybe we could do a sort of a show match with some of the smaller regions, right? Get Asia involved. Curious what the Deadlock sort of flavor is over there. Me and Blank have had our fair share way back, like 9 months ago, and hotel Wi-Fi, invading the Asian servers and getting amongst it all. So it'd be cool to see what the region's looking like. But yeah, super awesome, right? Obviously gives opportunities for many different teams to play.
Yeah. So we'll have a quick look at the draft and get into it shortly. Let's look over at what we have on the picks and bans.
Yeah, right now we're running with both bans coming through at the moment. So for Fearless Furies, they banned out 7 as well as Pocket. For Hydra Nation, we're going with Holiday and a Paradox. So really denying a lot of the pick characters here. I think for Fearless Furies, they respond quite nicely with a Bebop and a Lash. But you're running into, again, more Viper. So it feels like we are seeing more and more of these top teams prioritizing having Viper on side. And she's an extremely strong hero. Played aggressively with backup, can be very, very fearsome. So I think that the question is like, the way we're seeing a lot of teams play this Viper is placing it in the front lines a lot of time, playing it towards the back line, and just having a really strong team at the front to divert attention away, or have a very, very mobile Viper like we saw last game, just be able to escape any difficult scenarios, attract that attention when necessary. And because you have so much movement capable on that character, you get away from a lot of sticky scenarios.
No, I agree. I think it's actually been very fun to watch as well, that there's been more development of seeing more Viper. And I think that's kind of like how it looked as well first few games, right? Where it is being able to sort of control that very aggressive tempo that you need to play Viper effectively. Yeah. So yeah, it's been fun to watch. Like I'm going to say, I think it's definitely one of the heroes that I was really happy to see get a lot more time in the zone. I think this was, a good few months ago now when Viper was kind of on meta, especially in a lot of sort of Deadlock esports side. But yeah, it's good to have her back, man. One of my favorites. It's a good hero. It's fun. Let's all have some nice cheers for Viper, please.
Woo, Viper! But yeah, otherwise, I'll let you guys get into the game shortly. I'll let Jacky and Blank take it away with this next match. It's one of our semifinals. Either way, these two teams get a ticket to Deadlock Deathmatch champions. See you later, boys.
Oh, yes. Are you looking forward to this one? Again, already, I think we've done well with the quality of competition that's made it through Blank to the semi-finals. So obviously those 4 spots that we now know going into champions. That's a ton of talent that we've got to work with here, especially on the weeklies, because I actually think it was very impressive seeing what Beans and Toast were able to put up there. Like some of the Vindicta plays with the snipes was great timing, good mechanics. That's a team that it feels like could have optics for the future, especially. So maybe that'll be interesting to see how those weeklies go with a team like that in the midst.
Yeah, it was honestly, it was quite surprising that we got the 32 teams in the first place. I didn't know if we'd fill that many in the beginning, but the fact that we did just was really exciting for me in terms of the amount of players that are still very interested in esports in general, or just competitive Deadlock, just being able to play it. I'd love to do more stuff like this in the future. And again, we will be running more qualifiers for NA and EU, but it's just crazy. I think that in future, we'll try and set up the Faceit Hub as a place where you can just play these games on the regular and just have that there and available to people. Because I do think that Comp Deadlock with draft involved in a nice space where you can get help from admins if necessary. It is nice to have. It is nice to have.
No, absolutely. I think it's definitely very fun to watch, right? It's a different flavor. It's good as well for some of the experience for some of these teams. We had a couple of the squads that were saying it's kind of like a bunch of guys that got together. We're looking forward to putting in some hours and playing together. There's nothing sweeter than it, really. There is something special that comes from, I think, playing Deadlock in its rawest form, which is where, there's a little bit of like the psychology on the line of thinking, we have to play well, that competitive nature of it when everyone's coming. That's where the game's at its physical best, mate. That's where you can come out, really flex the muscles on the server and see what you're working with. So I think that's what we've been getting here, Blank.
Absolutely. So we're going to jump straight.
For I will be your guide to victory.
Against Pagination, one of the best teams, if not the best team in NA.
Yeah, let's get into it. This should be exciting. Don't worry too much as well. We'll get the HUD, of course. Solves is going to populate in a second, so you'll have that on screens. So just focus on the commentary and the pretty pictures for now as we get into this semi-final number 2. Deadlock Deathmatch champions here in the arena.
Still, just look at the pretty color books. That's what we want. In the meantime, yeah, a lot of good damage done nice and early here from Lefo, who has been playing a lot of Viper recently. I've been seeing him on a lot of melee Viper, though, which I hope I don't see here in this matchup.
I wouldn't mind it, honestly. I wouldn't actually mind it, mate. Bit of cheeky maneuvers, see what you can do. Obviously, throw in some spice there with the melee fist of fury from the Viper. But I think that should be fun. Again, as well, right? It kind of fits the play style that you know and love from Lefo with how he approaches the game. So I think it makes sense with what we're going to be seeing. Obviously, mechanically very gifted with aiming. Movement's always been such a strong suit for him. And those are the keys to victory, homie. When it comes to a Viper, that's what you need.
Just some creative plays, some interesting maneuvers. Throw them out there. You think you're going against the gun Viper? No, you are going against literally my gun, which I'm going to hit you with a bat with. So we'll see. We'll see what Lefo pulls out. But I do think it's quite a strong team. Vindicta into the combo from Mo and Krill. You even have Geist there as well. So it's a very strong front line with Mo and Krill, Geist, and Abrams. Low toss though, on the other hand of things, you do have a lot of availability just to escape for Fearless Furies.
You're talking about escaping. What about engaging here? Low toss kicking things off. No, Fearless Furies rather. It's even
We both
goofed
made the
me
same
now.
mistake, yeah.
That's how that happens. Keeping you guessing, don't worry. But yeah, nice actual engage, and you get the opening pick there. Able to shut down the Viper early to try and starve off some of that additional farm for left, or at least to get really started. At laning phase, if you just start to get a little bit uncontrollable, it's going to really snowball the longer this one goes on. Hydration here. Looking to put the pressure back on, create some space at least, tanking a bit of it on the Abrams. You can deviate further and reset. They can't get the instant dive onto the Dictator that they were hoping for.
Yeah, preemptive parry is not really doing all that much there, expecting them to continue pushing. And I mean, a lot of Bebops do this, especially Fagoreko, using the melee as more of a movement tool overall. Left alone over towards Broadway, and we'll have to back it out here after a lot of damage comes through, and AVG literally abandons his teammate.
Yeah, got to bail out on that one. Look for the reposition and the reset.
Side of hydration against Fearless Furies. Arian will go down to Lord NM as it's just a lot of damage coming through from Flame Dash into the Scorn on top of it. Very, very difficult to deal with. The moment here is just a full-on brawl over towards the Guardian. Not much this Vindicta can do either. I mean, most of the cooldowns are down. That's a 3-minute take on the Guardian, and Fearless Furies will be very pleased with how that one works out. Good movement, though, honestly, from Lowmain, who always has had very nice movement. We've seen him a lot of times in the past playing on the Lash. There's no way you'd still taking that one.
Risky business there. Barely being able to rattle away as Fagoreko makes his move out on the Bebop. Though you see the chain together. Collateral damage on Broadway. A couple kills being taken home. AVG out of rotation for a second there. Arian being traded back upon on the Kelvin as well. Still trying to keep good pressure at least on the lanes here now. Getting a bit of a shove back out. Seeing if you can reset round on Greenwich, get what they were hoping to find quite some time ago. The instant combo. A delivery service there.
Yeah, kind of hilarious the way that worked out, because Arian, I'm pretty sure, just died to the exact same combo, not the ultimate. The exact same combo they just unleashed on him beforehand, and then you get Apocycle just running in to get comboed. Right now, I would say that Rokane as well as Lord NM are just getting fed quite a bit.
Yeah, look at their moving on this one at the minute. The buffet is free, and they're going to take the most out of it.
There's no way.
Lord NM just getting away with absolute liberties here. Very nearly the
gone as well.
Parry on the timing as well. Gets it back. But a HP. Trying to build up the Jin's mark, see if he can finish him off. Oh, it's enough for the delay, so AVG can get over and finish it. The 1-for-1 trade, 2 in total from it, just off the delay. Yeah, fair play. That's the moves you want from a moment.
Oh my goodness me. Some very nice maneuvers. Cycling out the dashes very nicely on the double wall bounce as well, just to buy time for the second Scorn to come through, to keep himself healed up for longer. If I was Apocycle, I'd be furious in that situation.
Human. Really, really nicely played. Further insult to injury being added as well. Send Fagoreko back around on the Bebop to attempt to slow down the push, and they're just able to dump the damage straight on you. And this is looking pretty good so far. Relatively scrappy here, about 2k souls apart. Either side taking one Guardian. Fearless Furies being able to push up onto the York Guardian. Hydration being able to take back round on Park as well. Bit of a potential for a bout here on mid over at Broadway. Meanwhile, Fagoreko, instant grab from the Bebop hook. Slams Vindicta down. Got to be smooth about this. Lowmain with a quick adjustment round the corner. You get hydration, shoulder charging back through as well. Seismic impact for the reposition to keep himself alive.
Yeah, lovely tech from Lowmain as well. Hard to make that one work as well, especially when you're facing forward, but makes it look easy on the flight cancel. Finder will find a little bit more on his side. Starting to farm up nicely. Leffa has 3.5k souls. Not entirely sure where he's been.
He's been kind of starved out on a few of these fights, and obviously been roaming an awful lot. Hasn't really been able to shovel in the feed that he's looking for. Getting a bit of damage out on this one though, harassing deep up to keep the lane push round towards the walker. Nice aim for the fadeaway shots as well, back onto the Mirage. Meanwhile, it's this Mo and Krill who's been causing issues. Lord NM out at mid once again, looking to see what liberties he can get away with. Nice disarm with a sandblast from the sideline, changes attention round, gets slammed in the back, instant combo, hoping you can at least get the 1-for-1 if you go down. Not enough follow-up from it though, nearly.
Yeah, it's brazen, very brazen from Lord NM. Just to start whacking that Yamato in the face. Nice binding word will deny Rokane any kind of escape there. Meantime, Fearless Fury's very much hurting though, so there is trade back and forth. Agareka goes back in with a bebop, but hydration fairly decent in terms of healthiness. Lord NM has been an absolute force to be reckoned with on this Mo and Krill.
He's being a menace. He really is. It's just the movement plan with very good understanding.
He's on top of the Guardian.
That's what I mean. Like, he's literally just chasing it with how he's playing. Been so aggressive as well, but always being able to back it up with the actual damage output, which is fun to see. I always love to see a little bit more aggression being used with the combos as well. Sometimes it can be similar to like Singularity, where you hold it a little bit too much. Lord NM, it's basically anytime it's off cooldown, it's opportunity to get an engage off with a combo. Yeah. It's been really nice.
Yeah, playing extremely aggressive. A mini-move build is extremely aggressive. You got Cold Front, Mystic Burst, QSR as well, just to give yourself a little bit more imbue damage. It's lovely. It is very, very lovely. I do think when you're looking at Lord NM, he's had such an impact around the map. And even Arian just been sent away. He is constantly pushing it. And to be fair, for Mo and Krills, this is a combo, isn't it? Yeah, 100%. Yep. Mo and Krills, it's just very nice where even if you get a little bit behind, he is extremely quick when it comes to taking away the jungle. And not only that, but stealing jungle. And with how potent and valuable jungle is in the early game, having a Mo and Krill just zooming around, sucking, vacuuming up all your jungle on your side of the map can be quite influential.
Oh yeah, his scorn usage as well has been on point right now. So ability also for the lane clear when he has been shoving it out. It's good, man. You can see he knows his way around a mole very effectively. Okay, Agareka, these are the sort of hooks he loves to set himself up for. It's a good flick up, shoulder charge response back though. Hydration being able to charge out of that and put the pressure back on. You thought you had him pinned, but you didn't realize how smooth he was.
That Abrams can fly. I like that tech though. You know, you get the uppercut and then mid-air you're hitting the shoulder charge. You're essentially getting a little bit of a lift on that one. We do have takeoff in the Hydra Nation airfield. Darn's going to quit this tonight, so I imagine we're going to get a pause coming through fairly soon as he gets back into the game here. Oh, instantaneously.
Yeah,
wish that was my teammates. Yeah.
It doesn't even need a pause. Does it in the downtime? Good stuff to see. Actually, quite an enjoyable matchup already here, though. Over there. Good action. Neck and neck stuff between both of these sides. Obviously, Soul Leaders deviating further in the favor of Hydra Nation with how they're playing this one. Getting stuff set up for the power-ups to spawn in. Grab that bridge buff. Gun going over to AVG. So he's got the extra damage to play with on that. See if he can put it to good use. Instant response back around here on Broadway. Try and stop this lane from being shoved. Holding on to these Guardians for quite some time. Don't want it to slip just with subverted expectations. Meanwhile, you get Lord NM's POV once again. He's looking for the right timing for that grab. Combo last second, the Carmen pinned in position because of it. Hoped for the parry, but it's not going to be enough. Can't body block the bullets from Infernus, and Rokane deals with him. And you keep this aggression on towards Broadway as well. A lot of damage back over them. Got to get the quick heals in from Arian.
Yeah, the good thing about the combo here is there's quite a few good combo targets in the Kelvin, the Bebop, the Warden as well. The other characters there do have a little bit more escape on their side, but if you can lock any of those down, it is really, really good for your team. Low main's also just been constantly a threat around the map and also playing very defensively. Some very good escapes so far from low main, just denying attention around the map. And that's a 3-for-0 exchange on the side of Hydra Nation, and Fearless Fury starting to feel the heat coming through from the nation itself.
Oh, yeah. They might be hydrated, but they're anything but cooled off at this point. Working well for them. 10 frag differential. Oof. 12 difference as well in the AP. So far further ahead right now. And you can feel the stock they've got to work with. Power certainly starting to surge for them. The ping makes no difference at this point. They're looking smooth out on the battleground.
Yeah, it's great. It's very, very good. Ooh, ABG caught in a tough situation, but an immediate clap back. I mean, maybe... I haven't found even another Shadow Transformation. That's an aggressive push. I'll tell you that right now. And if ABG's able to get out, this will be a monstrous exchange in their favor.
I mean, he's doing a great job. Gun buff certainly coming into full effect. You're getting these headshots off for the base damage. Good follow-up as well. Quick Essence Bomb on top finally falls amongst the carnage. But the fact you're going to be able to chain a few of these together from it and harass so much onto Arian buys you a whole load of additional time to play with. And it's got some good follow-up. A bit of a shove back in as well from Rokane. That's back around towards the actual Walker. So you're able to push that out from it as well with the difference in player power. Yeah, they're building on this one. Hydra Nation getting into a good groove.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, the macro has been really good from either side of the teams, but unfortunately, they're finally, like you say, with the man advantage going into favor of Hydra Nation, they're able to pick themselves up a Walker with Rokane just consistently pushing down on the side lane there. Somewhat rough. I think this is where we're going to start to see that soul lead expand by quite a bit going forward.
Yeah, you can snowball from this. You can already rapidly see it starting to create quite a big difference between these two sides. Apacycle just looking for a getaway as well. Bounce pads to safety. Make sure he can deviate back, top himself up with a healing right out of commotion. Meanwhile, you got Letha as well, just pushing further out, round towards Park again to reset the lane on that. So you've got more of a shove whilst the attention is closely grouped on Broadway. Trying to see if they can find themselves a pick from this. Quick look at the ult economy as well. Last stands down. You're not going to have that Death Slam as well for a couple more seconds here. Arctic Shelter about to come back off cooldown. Meanwhile, on Hydra Nation, everything's looking good. It's only Geist with the life exchange that isn't available right now.
I mean, again, I think it all does come back down to that really aggressive trade between Epplefine as well as APG. I don't know why they went for something like that. Tornado used defensively to escape out of there, but the combo was in position. He catches him on the climb as well, brings him right back down to reality. And we'll ground him straight to the floor. Some hatred, some scorn coming through from Lord NM this game.
Yeah, scorched earth beneath that Moe and Krill. It's been terrifying to watch. Very good setups, super self-sufficient as well of how he's been playing it. Giving more room for the other players to breathe now as well. And those soul values back up, distribute the wealth so they can keep the intensity building. Father Echo looking for an escape on this, just behind the veil, seeing if he spots anyone as well to make a bit of a maneuver on it. You are certainly being traced as well. It's Letha that's close by. Has to make the getaway call. Goes for the bounce, incoming chase, miss on the hook, bomb up. Don't want to give him any room to be able to dash around and get the extra damage out with the DPS from just unloading that clip infinitely. Absolute panic stations. Just trying to apply the bomb stacks as well back over. Rolling on top of the bridge buff. It's not looking too great whatsoever. Lose out on the old flanker as Bebop goes down. Response back in from Lash. It's an instant death slam on top. Pinned by Lord NM though. So the follow-up just is not there.
I mean, Letha does go down in the midst of it all, but it is again a 3-for-1 trade, and they're constantly in the favor of Hydra Nation. Make that a 4-for-1 now as Apacycle will hit the deck. This has just been criminal so far from Hydra Nation. Some very, very good plays. The Frozen Shelter came through, but one was like a frozen cage that they locked their own Bebop within. In that cage fight between him and Letha. A struggle, definitely a struggle now going forward. Hydration will pick up the urn, start to take this across the other side of the map. And again, I think that they have great team fight potential. And right now, Fearless Fury, especially with Darling down to 12k, and as well as Arian on 10k, they just do not have the 6v6.
going to be a little bit awkward. Deep fight here as well. Just scrapping above the subway round towards that Broadway Walker, seeing if they can focus fire on it amongst causing carnage in the fight. Hook back over from Vargareco for the pullback. Ooh, there's the dive back in as well. Nice slash, but it's not enough with Lord NM keeping pinned again. That combo, the revolving door that opens opportunities for Hydronation, instantly in with a slap damage as well. With the follow-up from the team, only the cost of Hydration himself going down to what is nearly an entire team wipe up against the Fearless Furies. It's only Darth bouncing around, gets a slam off at least on AVG, looking to escape on this one, but you are being tailed by the world's fastest mob.
Yeah, the movement has been clean. I mean, does get a parry coming through from Darling. Looks to escape on the bounce pad, but I don't think he's long for this world. Consistently looking behind him. Even an assassinate from through just barely clips him.
And with the mole nipping at your heels, it's the snake of Lefa that comes bouncing round. Viper finishing that one off. Really clean, all in all.
Yeah.
Like, you know, really minimal casualties with how you played it. You also get control of the Broadway Walker as well. Still building on this one. They're not over-egging the pudding with how they've been playing it as well. So these like high percentage fights that they're investing into. Potential especially as well. You get mid-boss off the back of this now. Add Rejuve as the additional layer. They're in a pretty good stead for something enticing.
Absolutely. I think when you look at Hydronation as well, just in terms of the comp and the builds that they're going for, there is a lot of Spirit Resilience being picked up here. Right now, I would say resistances are pretty through the roof at the moment in terms of effectiveness. It's hard to go up against. And when you look at Fearless Fury's comp, they are rocking with a lot of spirit damage. And I mean, Apple Cycle's not going to start to do huge gun damage until we start getting towards that late game. It does take a little bit of time to get that Mirage online. But the rest of the damage is just all spirit, right? Arian, Darling, Epplefine, Fargareco, Nakaman, especially the early game. Again, a lot of it comes through the last stand before you start to get that build online where you start shredding with the bullets. And the fact that Hydronation is just able to pick up Spirit Resilience right now, and that keeps them nice and safe, doing heavy damage in a lot of these team fights. Yeah, it's a huge pickup. Lefa now even picks up escalating resilience, which is going to make him even more of a terror in these duels. It's tough. It is tough when it comes to the comp. And for Hydronation, they have a nice split of damage coming through where it's hard for Fearless Furies to really build around any of it.
Potential here for a bit of a dive as well. You can see the grouping, everyone posturing up round towards that Walker, looking for a scrap off the back of it. Mo and Krill has the combo primed and ready, but trying to keep his eyes darting around to prioritize the right target for the ult. Dash down into the slam from Lash. It's good follow-up. Low HP there to work with. Yamato, gotta look for the getaway. The dive in, death slam, pick you up and crater you into the earth. Trying to get the follow-up as well on the chase. Hook over the top line. Hyper beam called in. Fargareco piling on the additional damage. Burning through those rejuves at least. It's only Ray Kane still how it is to play with. Lefa being forced further back. Lord NM finally collapses as well. But the poison is inflicted as Viper makes the getaway. And Lowmain is able to clean up, mops them up like a spilt drink. Just Mirage and Bebop that's left alive. And this is not going to work well for you. Scratch that. It was no Oasis for Mirage. It was just a Mirage.
Meantime, we've got Rokin just in the face. He's had both of the shrines there, created such a distraction during the entirety of that one. AVG very low, and Epplefine once again not able to find his revenge over towards AVG. And this game is looking more and more done by the minute. They're going to back things up, take both of the buffs on the map. And this is looking like it's GG. I don't think it really needs to go too much further here. 157k to 102. As long as they play this next fight out pretty much just normally, they should come out on top.
Yeah, and I think with how the heads up, the comms have been as well. It's not as if they're sort of, you're going for any kind of sloppy fights. It's been very sort of high percentage engagements they've been playing with. You're in a position now to cruise this one out fairly comfortably. Just over 25% left on the timer as well for Rokane with a rejuice. So could still have that in the back pocket. Look to even potentially maximize this soul lead further. If you do bait them into a fight, especially if it's not the entire squad there as well, that's a good engage to just clean house on this and then go in for that final push on the patron. So everything is coming up. Hydra Nation. Hook round the corner. Vargareco throwing one out, but it's not going to clip where he wants it to. Shoulder charge back in to try and create space. This is Hydration looking to wake them up with an aggressive splash of cold water. In the meantime, combo on Kelvin. He's home alone with no backup. You get the wide hook in. That one's going to connect, but Leffer decides to handle it himself. Bowler's on point as well. You are not getting away today.
Petrification for the nation. And I mean, there is so sad for Vargareco because he'd gone fishing. That hook was just not pulling back that entire time. And this should now be GG. Into the parry as well from Leffer. No slouch on the Viper. Into the infinite slide. And this should be GG. Hydra Nation going through towards those grand finals.
Yeah, it's in the bag at this point. Heads-up plays really came alive. A good high percentage fights the entire way through. Intense matchup in the early game at least, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. Of course, both of these teams are through the Deadlock Deathmatch champions. Fearless Furies and Hydra Nation both qualify. The Hydra Nation move on to the grand final. Of course, to not only take the additional prize money, but the seeding and the regular competition that comes with it.
Hydra Nation are so scary. They're so drilled. Somehow, even being behind, you can just see the teamwork coming out. And with the misplays, a couple of misplaced ice domes and Lord Adam's combos like he's on a fighting game, it was unreal to watch. And I'm excited that we get to see this talent now every single week for the next season 1, which is going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. I especially was very impressed there with Lord NM, actually. Like the combo usage was sick. You're right. It was like Justin Wong was on the server, right? Just pulling out all the crazy moves, Blank. I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, no, I think the overall for Hydra Nation, there was definitely a point in the game where it felt like Fearless Furies just couldn't quite get themselves into the game again. There was just a moment where Rokane was just constantly farming. Leffer actually had a super interesting early game where he was just much more present on the map, just getting a lot done in terms of taking fights, clearing boxes, and just allowing the rest of the team to roam around a lot more than he was. And then he slowly came into his own as the game went on. Rokane similarly in that situation where he was playing a very, very heavy split push for the team, but because low main, Lord and M, Hydration were just so effective, it was hard to take them on, honestly, that entire match.
Yeah. But either way, both of these teams, like Jacky said, do qualify to Deadlock Deathmatch champions. So you'll see them both there. And for now, we move on to the grand finals shortly. So don't go anywhere. We're just going to talk about the game really quick. Look at the picks and bans, and also have a quick look at the bracket and see what this all means for us and all the games that have been through the course of the day.
Yeah, obviously, we started off with 32 teams coming in hot, right? You know, open qualifier, best of one nature. So like we said way back at the top of the day, we expected some kind of more intricate, like say, special builds that were thrown into the mix. We saw some interesting games there. As it's gone on, though, the competition has really heated up quite quickly.
Yeah, I think it's been a fantastic day. I mean, we're moving into Team Lotus versus Hydra Nation, which should be a great one to watch. I think Fearless Furies, in my opinion, that for me, that was should have been one of the best games, but I'm very excited to see what Lotus can do versus Hydra Nation, or if it's just going to be another clean sweep here in the grand finals. But it's been a lovely day of Deadlock so far. Yeah,
from 32 teams, we are now left with 4 who have made it through and qualified. And of course, everyone gets those sweet, sweet face-it points for participating in the qualifier, so you don't have to worry about that. And also, all these teams have qualified to win an amount of cash.
Yeah, some money. Everyone gets some money, which is good because obviously some money is a larger amount than no money. So that's what you need, you know, get those pockets full of $100 bills.
But awesome. I'll let you guys get away with it and get into the grand final shortly. Don't go anywhere as Jacky and Blake will explore this last game of Lotus versus Hydra Nation. Take it away, Jacky and Blake.
Looking forward to this one. We keep you going, you know, we're like a steam train. We're just ripping through.
Yeah, no messing around. We're just directly straight back into it. We are just waiting for this draft to get underway, as teams will be picking and banning away their picks. Obviously, there's a lot of focus today over towards Viper. It seems a lot more, and I mean, she's had a lot of success in fair few of these games. I think Yamato has looked good in the past, but we saw that even versus Lord NM. If Moankrill's able to get on top of you and just shut you down, it becomes very difficult. And more a case for me than anything, it is probably just the fact that you need to diversify your team in terms of the damage you're outputting, because Spirit Resilience is so incredibly strong right now.
Yeah, no, we're certainly seeing the effects. It's kind of fun as well, actually. That is the two sides of the coin that we're seeing, right? Where Moan Krill's influence is really being felt. Combo's getting so much use out of it for the pick potential, but just survivability inherently. Like Scorn usage there from Lord NM, just perfect to always be able to engage, take frontline head-on fights, even where you should be at a bit of a disadvantage. And then the other side being, of course, Viper play, just being through the roof, which I actually think is very fun compared to some of the more common sort of compositions that we were seeing. I think it's interesting that we've got a few of these heroes back in the regular rotation. I've always enjoyed seeing them play more.
Yeah.
I think it's something quite iconic as well, especially for Mo, mate. Having a bit of Mo and Krill moments, you know, it feels weird when it's not happening, when you have a blip of no Mo. So I'm glad we've got more Mo.
More Mo, please. I mean, I remember when we see a lot of Mo and Krill and Bebop being played together, especially even in lane, where that kill pressure just spikes once you get to your ultimate in lane. So I think that's a very, very cool thing to watch unfold as these games go on, as Deadlock develops. But I'm glad Mo and Krill did find some success. And I mean, no better person to make it work than Lord NM. Very, very good player on the side of Hydra Nation there.
Oh, yeah. It was nice to watch. It was certainly nice to watch. We got the draft coming through as well. We'll get that filled out and have a look at things as it goes. Keep you updated with the picks and bands that we're rocking with on this one. How things are going to be looking for our grand final. Of course, all of these teams are now through. So grand final here, like we said, this is going to be for prize money and also seeding. So we have a better idea of where really our teams lie. Yeah, and the pride as well, which obviously is it's a big part of it. For some teams more than others, sometimes that can be the most important.
Absolutely. I mean, we are getting the draft coming through updated live as we go on here, but immediately, and to nobody's surprise, Lotus bans out Viper on their first one, and it will be a pocket ban coming through from the boys on Hydra Nation. So I imagine that's just taking that away from Cosmetical, because he was able to find quite a lot of success off the back of it and getting rid of that one early. It's kind of a cheeky pick coming from Hydra Nation.
Yeah, a bit of a curveball thrown into the mix early on. Love to see that. It is a shame, obviously. Makes sense. Ban out the Viper. It's been very influential. You want to get rid of it. Would have loved to see a little bit more, but not today, not this time. Although we have kind of been spoiled for choice, really. I think every game we've covered today is out of Viper.
Yeah, it's been cool. I mean, obviously, we've got to get rid of it for the first time here. But yeah, for anyone wondering, it is Hydra Nation picking on the right, as well as Lotus picking on the left here. At the 7, the Yamato and the Mirage. That's a very hefty carry sided pick here to start things off. So not really looking at any picks, not really looking over towards much utility. On the other side of things, a lot of utility and a lot of pick potential here. The Vindictor, Holiday, as well as Abrams pick coming through for Hydra Nation.
I think there could be more stock in this one in reality than first thought as well. You know, I definitely think Hydra Nation should be the favourites to take things here in the grand final. But I've always been quite impressed with Lotus. I think generally is the way they've played. They've always had a very good sort of test of themselves whenever we've seen them in different tournaments. Players hold themselves very well mechanically. Teamworks look better every game we've seen as well. It's not one of those where sometimes after like a honeymoon period, you see teams that start to slow down. Doesn't look like they trust each other as much. I think if anything, that's a team where actually like, the longer they've been together, the more clean it's looked in terms of the communication, decision making actually out there as well inside of the Cursed Apple. This probably is a good time to have a head-to-head like this, where it'll be a fun kind of matchup, best of one sort of formula as well, so really no holes barred. That over arc of the draft isn't going to come into effect as well. So yeah, dude, I think this actually could be a relatively close game, possibly more than some people might expect.
Like you said, I like Lotus as a squad. I think they're all very good mates as well. And I think that for Lotus, there's been times where they've upset like some very, very good teams, other times where they've not looked so great or so hot. But I think they're still finding their place in Deadlock, I'd say. I think they have potential to be one of the best teams right now within the esport. It's just a question of just practice and making sure they have everything drilled down, especially when the meta is changing so frequently. It's something you need to be very aware of. It's why teams at the moment that have very invested coaches tend to do very well, because they're able to kind of crunch the numbers on the back end and make those decisions for teams for them. But I think Lotus has rolled with the punches very nicely.
No, I'd agree, man. I'd agree. It certainly always felt like every time we've seen them, if they've struggled in like a best of one, especially when we had them in some of the Swiss events we saw back, you know, we're talking like One Win Bombshell Volume 6, they were able to adapt quite easily just off the back of one result going into the next, where it does feel like there's good communication there outside potentially as well. I mean, it's quite a good element of something that will develop more as well as Deadlock grows. You get more sort of money to invest for support staff for teams. If you don't have that coach, having like the sixth man in the chair that, like you say, can just approach things in a bit of a different way, come in fresh with a lay of the land. You know, you notice it, the difference of just being able to have someone that's always got their heart on the beat of current builds, getting that 1% margin out as well to maximize the most from a team. Every little helps. I think especially with Deadlock as well, it's easy to tunnel vision as an individual, whereas sometimes having that kind of bird's eye perspective from a coach afterwards, you can notice things that need to be adapted.
So very similar pickups we're seeing from our last game here for Hydronation. The only change here would be Leffer not on the Viper. Pretty sure he's probably on the Warden here, most likely. But Laudanum back on the Moe and Krill, AVG on Geist, Hydration on the Abrams, as well as low main over towards that Vindicta side of things. So yeah, I think this should be a good match overall. I think there's a lot of potential in it. I am scared for Lotus because Hydronation has just played this very aggressive, roam-heavy playstyle. Adding a Holiday into the mix as well is fairly worrying because you have even more potential to get those big lockdowns. It works kind of similarly to the way the Bebop, Moe, and Krill combination works there, where you get the lasso into a combo. You can take out very key characters very quickly for Hydronation. But yeah, let's see what the boys over on Lotus can do here. We got Sanya on the Lash, which is a slight change for him, I would say, from his typical pickups.
Yeah, I think a little bit different there in terms of sort of, you know, the gameplay style we expect to see from Sanya. Again, I mean, his movement's always been very crisp. So playing a movement hero like Lash and being able to work that in, I don't think that's going to be the worst deficit for him whatsoever. But yeah, when you sort of think of him characteristically, it's always been your Hazes, your Viper, very aggressive sort of frontline damage, where he's looking to dip in, quick burst, set his teammates up with the sleep dagger and the usability. But again, that kind of translates to Lash as well, being able to at least use it in more of a supportive manner to open up fights, right? Displacing teams there with the use of that. I think he's going to be in a good stead. Probably some tasty death slams.
Do you know what I really like right now is that AVG's currently got his Steam profile as a bold man. So I like that he's at least cosplaying himself in game as well as.
Nice. He's locking that down. He's got the bald on the go. We could hook you up with a bald cap for next time around if you want, bud.
Me? I could do an AVG look, 100%.
Yeah, we can
Unfortunately, he has a way better beard than I could ever grow. So that's the tough part of things.
Hey, I can donate some hair.
You could. I don't think it'd be enough though. I don't think I could beat AVG's beard. I could beat his hair though. Beat his hair.
To be fair, that's how it works, mate. Your genes are getting confused. If you shave off all your hair, it'll go down here. It just doesn't know where to go.
Yeah.
That's the issue. That's what you've run into there.
I'm sorry, dude. I've really messed it up. I apologize.
It's okay.
Yeah, we're just waiting for... Thank you. We're just waiting for the final player to jump in, and then we'll jump into game as soon as players are ready. We're selecting servers, regions, etc., all that good stuff in the back end. But yeah, we'll be back shortly once the game is ready to go. I don't imagine it'll be too long, and then we'll jump straight into it for our grand finals here.
And welcome back, everybody. Grand final here on the lines. Two teams going head-to-head, of course. At this point, it differentiates the prize money seeding going into the regular three-week champions event and an extra bell and whistle that is the mouse mat to our MVP. Curious to see who's going to have a standout performance on that one. Honestly, if it would have been that semi-final, Blank, I think Mo and Krill gets it. Lord NM, he was coming out swinging. I don't think he needs a new mouse mat with how good the flicks were, but he could have one.
He can have one, absolutely. I mean, he was fantastic the way he was playing throughout the entirety of that match. I was very, very pleased to see just how strong Mo and Krill could be. For me, honestly, I quite enjoyed Low Main's gameplay.
Yeah, it's fair.
I think on a Vindicta, just really, really good. I think that in terms of being able to escape a lot of those tough situations and still having a great ability to get those stakes off when they were necessary, also having a lot of impact from very, very far away using the Assassinate. It was good to see. So let's see if Hydra Nation can, once again, with the ping diff, come out on top versus Lotos.
Yeah, all right. Let's lock in for this one then and get ready for it. Deadlock Deathmatch Challengers final game here. Two champions enter the arena. Let's see who's walking away as our first place team for our very first open qualifier here at Dead Air. Already into the mix of things. You've got Seven and Lash keeping the pressure applied. Round on York side. Abrams lurking in the corner, waiting for the go-ahead. You imagine Hydration just trying to see if he can set himself up for the early chip damage from the side. Harassment from Hayes, deep on Broadway as well, keeping you guessing.
Got to be done. Got to be done. A lot of times, I mean, we're going to get the sideline swipe here coming through from Low Main as well, making sure that the Hayes doesn't get too much damage done in the early game. You want to keep them under wraps, keep that pressure on.
I mean, it's a nice shove early on, at least here from Lotos. You've been able to displace things somewhat, make it uncomfortable for Abrams to be able to overstep the mark too far deep in towards the lane. So getting at least a bit of chip damage each creep wave up towards that York Guardian. So slowly whittling it down in the early game. Flick up, trying to get the damage back in as well. Oh, it's Hydration on the Mo and Krill this time. Okay. Let's see how this goes then. Up close and personal underneath the bridge side. Bounce up on the top. Rokane with an instant parry. Oh, got to give props to that one.
Very nice. Hydration even tried to come through, but parry a melee of his own. Slightly off kilter was Pyro, though, so didn't quite get that parry on board, but very nice from AVG.
Yeah, it's nice to see. Bit of a deeper shove back in. Finally, you see that engagement again as well. So shoulder charge back around. Lord NM this time on the holiday. We'll see how handy with the steel he can be if he earns his keep again with some of the criminal flicks that we were seeing earlier. This is a bit of a easier time of it to actually shove back over. I mean, you've got Lash and Seven in position. Trying to see if they can keep this wave shoved up, keeping him pinned in behind the stairs at the very least. More focused fire coming back in on Hydration on the Mo and Krill. Follow-up damage is good. Vexing Bolt in the back line, get the assistant thrown over. Fragment them somewhat so Rokane can't run back towards the shop side.
It's a tough lane for Coffin and Pyro, honestly. I mean, they're doing okay right now with Rokane and Hydration actually still pulling ahead in soul count. And that's always the difficulty versus Lady Geist as well as Mo and Krill lane, is that the sustain there is pretty high. So it's probably one of the better lanes to go up against a Sinclair Yamato lane with the poke coming through from alt fire on Yamato, as well as the vaccine bolts and the assistant on Coffin. Likely one of the few lanes that actually can sustain effectively versus that kind of combination. So very well set up there coming through from Hydra Nation.
Miracle with a slide around on the Mirage. Follow-up damage off the back of the cheeky sleep dagger. Zalefa eating that one. Oh, tornado over the top as well, hitting him heavy with the hurricane maneuvers, but the flask will still puncture. Bits of glass to the face. 1-for-1 trade off the back of the deep dive in. It works out fairly well for the stalemate, especially with the extra pressure Low Main's then applied onto that Broadway Guardian as well. Getting like a free wave of damage in off the back of that.
Yeah, I think it delayed nicely. I think if the wasn't a case that Leffer was able to get that flash through, I think Ray got a little bit aggressive. Maybe didn't need to be there towards the end with Cosmetical. But that makes for a rough lane now. Rokane with the life swap coming through, but Rokane will finally go down. And it's Pyro as well as Hydration. Good parry comes through, and Hydration will go down in the nick of the moment. And I think right there, Hydration got a little bit panicked versus Pyro. Goodness me, but that is a great wrap up there for both the Sinclair and the Yamato. Two heroes that they desperately wanted to get ahead early on. Coffin's going to go for the quick reset over towards Guardian, get instantly back to base with full HP, which is what Cosmetical had the roughest time with there, where he finished that fight with very low HP, so he had to base, get some more HP on board.
All right, super nice, really good timing on the parry. Great follow-up. Could have been just a 1-for-1. Instead, you keep it clean, take down Hydration, get a free wave of damage back over onto the Guardian. Like you said, quick resets. So heads up thinking. Could go wrong, though. Back for revenge. Mo and Krill comes a knocking up the side. We bait out at least on the slash back over. Follow up alt fire from the backline to deal damage. In slash from the top. That's Sanya looking for the save. Oh, slight nip of the heel. It's a nice connection from Holiday. So Lord NM still saying good night, taps him out. And they can shove on this as well now. Uncontested control of the lane.
It's so unfortunate for Sanya there, where he goes for a nice drop down left that does go down towards Broadway. Goes for a great drop down on the ground strike. I think just as that happened, the healing trooper passed and takes some HP across over towards Lord NM. Might have been a very different story if that wasn't the case.
Nice to see, though. Really a relatively intense first 6 minutes of the fight here. No Guardians yet to fall. Both sides being able to get damage out. You see Hydronation's Greenwich side at least being the weakest link at the minute with some of these big dives we've seen coming out from Lotos. Bit of a brawl inside of the park here right now as well. Seeing if they can put some pressure back on. Hydration spamming out the shots, goes over, scoring up onto the tier 1. Meanwhile, a bit of a catch on low main. Ooh, seeing if they can turn the tide on this and actually still shut down on Cosmetical. It's good movement. The mantle dash to at least throw off the crosshair. Not enough to get away. Brawling up close as well. Attention turn. Mirage building up the Jin's marks back in, so Cosmetical still finding damage application.
Yeah, a lot of healing coming off the back of Mystic Regen there as well in lane. Cosmetical able to just continue to put on the pain train. Healing right also sent in here for Pyro. Needs to continue to push this lane in, because the main thing here right now for both Pyro and Coffin is they want to keep Hydration locked down in this lane. They don't want to lose Guardian too early. That's the main focus, because as soon as that happens, Hydration gets to roam a lot more, and that's when the combo can start to come into effect. So keeping them pinned in this lane for as long as possible is very beneficial for Lotos long term.
Starve them out, read them and weep. Potential for some tears here. This is the lane of carnage, really. Absolute Deadlock Deathmatch incarnate here on Park with the fights we're seeing. It's a deeper dive once again. Hydration going in, had Scorn up, able to get in the face of Pyro, make it uncomfortable for the Yamato to get the 3 damage out. Meanwhile, up top, you've got Sinclair throwing in bolt after bolt straight towards you from the Magic. Ooh, there's the first to fall back over though on York side. That's Lord NM going down. Sanya on the roam. Good timing again as well. Saw the big fist of AVG coming towards him. Instantly hits the parry and shuts him down.
Yeah, kind of his only option there with melee lifesteal to try and get some more health back on board to continue fighting. So AVG just throws out the haymaker, sees what he can get done with it. Will get parried for his troubles. Not going too badly in this lane as well. Some good poke, some great poke in fact coming through from Pyro. Hydration will come in. A lot of damage off the back of the burrow there.
Line up and assassinate as well. Single bullet fired out. It was an awkward angle. Had to pixel peek it in. So off angle face from the right hand side. Couldn't quite hit it. Repeaks there again from Cosmetical though. That was the last round in the chamber for the ultimate. Softens them up. Oh, that's not what you want. Beyblade of death over the top. Rayake making them have a headache up close with the haze maneuvers. And then the last stand thrown out as well. Leffer goes in deep. Instant sleep dagger. Responds back from the Jin's mark, trying to get the light parry off.
No
he actually
way.
parries them. Oh, Rayake. How's it gone so wrong? Even the getaway, 6 HP on the chase, finally finds his man.
That should have been a clean 2 versus 1 there, unfortunately, because Mythical will go down. Just shoot him. Just shoot him. It's always the play. Some strange parkour movements coming through from Kakazo will eventually have to go out as Hydration just stares him down in the face before shoulder charging him. This man loves to climb, it seems.
KVG giving it the business. Those burly shoulders being put to good use. Quite the acrobat for such a big blue boy as well, the way he's pulling this one off. And now it really is starting to divulge. Constant fights between these. Coming up just short of the 10-minute mark as well. 5k difference in the soul leads. Low toss ahead right now. We'll see if they can keep it consistent. Again, reposition. Hydration on the move as Mo and Krill wants to hit the bounce pad, get out of position so he can set up for that buff to spawn in. It's him and Low Main up there. It's gun buff on that side. Pass that over to Low Main. Meanwhile, snatch that one away from the other bridge. And you can see a bout breaking out between Holiday. That's Lord NM up close against Pyro. Good grapple into the chase down. Follow-up damage is there. The lasso to throw off the haze at least. So no damage to add to the fight. It's turned the tides on this one, still alive, but barely. Trying to reel back from it. Ray Acre's not gone down yet, and Pyro deviates. They might actually get away on this.
Yeah, not bad at all right now, coming through from low toss with all 3 Guardians still up and kicking. Hydration struggling a lot more in this game. And it will be Hydration looking to hand in this urn and try and bring things back in their favor. So I'd say so far, Hydration, yes, they might have been struggling here, but at least the macro is still tight on their side. Looking to pick up their first Guardian now.
This is what they were waiting for. Opportunity to present itself, play off the timing, go for the high percentage play, see if they can shove this one out. Get control of that walker around towards Yorkside, which has been causing an awful lot of turmoil with the infighting they've had between them and Hydra Nation as well to keep this shoved out. And then they can just focus far background on Broadway as well. Get another creep wave pushed up deep. They have to call in for the backup. Rokane comes over to assist Low Main, make sure they can clear that out so they don't keep compounding these back to back. Sanya's out in the open. Further round, ooh, could be potential for Hydration to spot him out here as well. Wants to slam down onto the farm. Hold front as well to speed things up, but this is what I was expecting. Hydration dives in, warpstone round the corner. You've been mown killed.
Yeah, unfortunate there. Why'd they have to crit him like that? And I mean, to be honest with you, yes, he steals away a little bit of jungle. Was it really worth it in that situation? No. Hydra Nation have a good 10 seconds to start to push things around the map, but there is a response there over towards Rokane on the Lady Geist. Pinpoint second away from picking himself up the soul exchange and not able to get it off there to keep himself alive. So Rokane will have to send back to base. Coffin will hit the deck also. But will AVG escape?
Trying to siphon life out, at least have some additional HP sustenance to play with. But the sheer rate of building up these Jin's marks. There we go. Finally handles it. It was looking a little bit green around the gills. Tied with a parry on the back line as well. Good moves to try and get out a dodge, but you're being ran down as Sanya will finish off onto Leper. Able to deal with it. Can't escape. No warden left remains as the cuffs are actually being thrown back on Hydra Nation. We 3 of them out of commission here. 10-second stagger on the spawn as well. Getting some room to at least keep Broadway shoved, so it's not the worst in terms of the macro. They're getting scrappy out there, Blank.
Yeah, it needs some contortionism right now to pull those thumbs out from the handcuffs, because right now around the map, it is starting to look a little bit cagey. We're starting to worry a little bit for Hydra Nation in terms of that macro, in terms of picking up those objectives. They are starved out on that first flex slot so far, and that is going to become more and more of a big deal as we head over towards the 15-20 minute mark. With Lotos already been picking up one of their first and second flex slots, that's going to give them a lot of advantage going into the future. And Pyro's already used one of his flex slots to pick up Fortitude, allowing to have much more capability around the map, just in terms of presence alone. He's forced to use the Shadow Transformation. The rest of the team start to pour on over now, though, Jacky.
Yeah, he's called for the backup. Oh, you love to see it as well. Hydration threw out his combo early into this fight, but then you get hit with the old audience participation. Coffin comes in, uses the ult against them himself. They're able to shut down Mo and Krill and see if they can find any more inside of this fight. Further damage coming back through. Zander looking for the slam down, flying through the air. Meanwhile, Pyro extinguished in the fight. Chase up top. AVG trying to keep the pressure on. Supported by Rocaine on Geist. Low on health now. Does have Soul Exchange in the back pocket if needed, but losing out on stock. Lord and M and AVG out of commission here.
And Rocaine gets taken down by the Vexing Bolt once again. Some good shots here, just keeping their distance away from that Soul Exchange. Cosmetical taking hefty damage from the Burrow, in fact. Hydration continues to push in their way. A lot of HP for this stage of the game as well, 2700. Like a bit of a frontline demon, but not a whole bunch of resistances just yet found for Hydration, especially not having that first flex slot to try and grab something else that would keep him in the fight a little bit longer. Low main still being Salem slick on the map, able to get out from that last fight on a bare minimum HP. But it is Lotos continuing to put pressure over towards Hydration consistently and constantly.
Heather try and pin them in position. Instant shoulder charge. Movement buff can be claimed. There's a little bit of a freebie in the midst of it. Instant drop down is enough to follow up and finish off on low main from Sanya. The getaway might actually be good enough as well. Survived the initial burst of damage from the combo and pieces out. So Sanya's still in play, can reset from it. You get that one full confirmation on low main as well, being out of play for another 10 seconds on this. In the meantime, Ray can go for the run on the earth. And they're keeping them grouped, close by building. They want to posture for this one, see if they can roar back over on Broadway, but you forgot about Sanya. Up top with the Death Slam, Mo and Krill slick on the belly slide. The Penguin Punisher bailing out on it. Oh, it's an Animal House at this point. Turned back over into the Rabbit, but they're the ones that are being cut in half. Hydration being the bad magician as they look to try and cut this team to pieces.
Yeah, it's been a very nice maneuver there coming through from Hydration. Instant warp stone upwards over towards the bounce pad after the Death Slam comes through. Completely shifts Lotos off kilter there. They are unbalanced in that moment. Sleep over towards low main, up on high, but he's happy to wake up and get out from that nap easy. But again, this is still quite close, you know. We're only 10k behind because Metacal will find Lord NM again. Leffer doing his darndest to try and farm up in the meantime. 17k, but Kakazo's currently up to 19k, looking to put on the hurt later in this game.
Got a lot of room to work with here as well. Map presence round towards Parks, looking good for them. Setting up with the shove on the creep wave as well. Slight deviation back, giving them opportunity to steal a lot of this farm away so they can set themselves up the longer it takes. You've got at least a little bit of backup with AVG and Rocaine on the close rotate round towards Broadway. You need to be swift about it. They were looking for an instant shove on the lane, see if they could build from it. Sideline swipe over, looked like a shoulder charge engagement off of AVG. They've just sent themselves packing though. You get the quick rotate off. Rayake's able to get away, and so's the Mirage.
Sanya dropping down. And low main kind of struggling a little bit here to stay out of dodge. Likely to go down next. The Sanya sniper will ground strike straight in.
I see Abrams.
It does get worse and worse here for Hydration, Jacky. But Lotos just looking better and better on the field. Kakazo now in a position where he is going to be terrifying. And you don't want to come up against that electrifying character in the game. Quick deny on the Blossom, using the lasso to get him out of there.
Yeah, this is really nice, actually. I mean, fair play to Lord NM. Choreography of Deadlock on that one was clean. Barrel into the lasso, cancel out the bullet dance, be able to reset from it. 1-for-1 trade. You know, you take down Rayek, they lose out on AVG on the response. Sanya's slick with it, though. This is the movement we were talking about that goes hand in hand with Sanya Sniper's gameplay. Want to get the quick rotate over, maximize the farm for now. You'll get about 6 seconds of respite until Rayek is back in the fight on this one. And they can try and keep shoving with this. Potential to try and posture for another fight into maybe a mid-boss as well, how this game's going. They're finding a couple of clean picks. You get one clean team fight from it, they could be in a really good spot to grab a good amount of map control.
Yeah, sort of waiting in the moment just for this next turn to come up and how they're going to play around that one, but they are consistently pushing in these lanes at the moment. You do have Lord and M as well as Leffer just sat on the sidelines looking over towards Sanya, who is just going to teleport straight out and get immediately over towards this side lane Walker.
Slap in. Hydration goes off. Combo pulled out of it. Response back into the Death Slam. 1-for-1 trade as AVG and Kakazo are taken out of commission, but Hydration gets a taste of his own medicine. The combo swap with the audio participation. You slap that one back on him. Double up on the elims there as well, taking out 2 of them. Vindicta's got to make a move. Salome bails out, and you lose control of the Walker.
Yeah, tough stuff there. Good target focus, though, from Hydration immediately over to Kakazo. That could have gone a lot worse, and it did. And it already went pretty badly, to be fair. But getting Kakazo down was very, very important for them. He is a force to be reckoned with at this stage of the game. Letting him get an easy Storm Cloud off is very bad. Silencing Wave over towards Lord NM will prevent any kind of bounce pads coming through, and it's a quick follow-up on that one. Lotus just looking more and more in control of this game.
Will bring us victory.
Nice to see the reserved nature with the bullet dance as well. Not necessary, not needed. Just able to instantly get that slow off, sleep dagger for the engage. Quick response time from the rest of the team as well to be able to dogpile on in case things started to go out of hand. But again, this is what they've been looking for, just these isolated picks to build from. Again, on this one, looking about 9 seconds till Lord NM's back up into the fight, having to group themselves round towards Broadway Walker out of paranoia of the push coming there. Meanwhile, attention is being put on the urn as they run that one across. It's going to be in the hands of Pyro for now. Storm Cloud is available for Kakazo to assist if necessary, but it's a clean take on the urn with no response back.
Leffer goes down as Reg will catch him out of the way, and that is a big target taken off the map. They're 23k player, the highest in the lobby there for Hydration. And now they can probably cleanly push over towards this walk without having last stand to really create that last stand for Hydration over this way. It's going to be difficult. There's a good combo that comes through that takes down Sanya, and his Death Slam was just coming back up again, which is a little bit rough for the team on Lotus. Leffer will be up slightly earlier. It's a question of whether they want to continue to push this now, but looks like they do back out. So good pick off there from Hydration to keep themselves in the game.
Yeah, quick reset on it. Both teams feeling a stalemate on that one. See if you can just get those lanes sorted out. Get the rotate over with Hydration back onto York side. Don't let that push too deep up towards the base Guardians. He's got the assist there of Rokane as well in case anyone tries to go for a bit of a gambit on it. Rayegg with a quick drive-by as well, making some last-minute purchases here.
Shadow form is not
Yeah, a lot of debuff removers coming through, and I mean for Lasso, finding word, your shoulder charge, making sure those debuffs last much less time in the game is going to be very, very useful. Even stake as well. So there's a lot of stock being placed into stopping that CC from becoming such a big problem for Lotus. You desperately want it on Rayek as well on the haze, because if you lock down that haze, very quick to pick up quite a squishy character like that. But again, back into... Yeah, it's a bit of a stalemate again.
Ooh. Could have been potential for it. Yeah, you can see the idea is kind of the eyes lighting up. The 4 eyes on Mo and Krill. Hydration, they was hoping to get the combo off, but Sanya, very smooth with the movement. Pieces out, able to get at least back in towards the safety net so you can't pin him and then find that initial pick. Everyone just clambering for one misplace. You know, one player out of position, get an opening kill from it, be able to build back in off of that opening frag. You see the quick difference as well here as they look to instigate a bit of a bait on the mid boss. Could commit off the back of it as well. Doesn't really have much room for the response. There's a bit of a reshuffle with AVG starting to make his way over now. They just wanted to bait it, and it's worked. Hook, line, and sinker. Team rotates over. Got to get the grapple on top of Mo and Krill. Death Slam up. Oh, the heavens have opened. Crashes them back down through the clouds. You get Kakazo with a follow-up as well there through the Storm Cloud. Those 2 picks, key players to take down as well. No combo in play. No Leopard with the follow-up from Last Stand. Even with the knockback on the Sanya, it's still enough to be able to build from just the instant dive back into the mid-boss pit. Extra chip damage coming out. 3 Jude's going to be coming down.
I mean, they do have the slam coming through from the Abrams. Good parry coming through from Cosmetical to keep themselves in the position. Slowly but surely, those credits are going to cross over towards Lotus.
our
3 rejues picked up because Mescal Pyro and Coffin. It was a good attempt from Hydra Nation, but not meant to be. Lowmain's going to send back, has 8k to spend, in fact. Not quite got any buying done just yet. But for Lotus, very decent. Sanya Sniper, I don't really think he had to go down there. I think he was looking for the quick pick off over towards low main, but again, that guy is slippery.
It's quite a fun head-to-head with both of them, actually. You can always see the movement coming into full effect in a lot of these fights. Heads-up call as well. Just shove this out deep. Let Pyro run the risk of seeing if he can gain control of just smashing that Walker to bits on Broadway. Has the rejuve, so it's not the end of the world. 1 second back in play. Try and turn the pressure now and focus on taking them down. Got back up in position from Coffin, who cuts through Cutthroat and was able to hit a nice bit of damage off with the Vex and Bolt. Vertical adding further insult to injury, so that's the pin pulled on the Walker with hydration going down in the meantime. So 2 frags found for Coffin, even more damage being applied. Base Guardians just being eaten alive as well. They're really finding the most out of this one.
There is just this amazing little thing that we haven't really talked about too much, which is just Rayek, who's been setting up a lot of these fights. Goodness me, what a tag on that one over towards Lord NM. But he's been scouting for the team the entire time. Some really good sleeps. That previous fight as well got a lovely sleep over towards hydration on the Moen Crow, preventing him from getting any kind of combo off there. And immediately the rest of the team's able to capitalize with a good death slam. So I do think that Rayek has had a massive amount of impact on this game, just in terms of scouting, in terms of pressure, in terms of clutch sleep timings as well.
Yeah, this has been really nice. Heads up gameplay, some smart moves the whole way through. And that should be the final curtain call off the back of it. An instantaneous dump of damage there onto the patron. And they've done it. Lotus walking away with that one as our champions for the Open Qualifier.
Yeah, I mean, good stuff. It happened very, very quickly towards the end there. I mean, incredible work from Lotus. I mean, Hydra Nation is not an easy team to play against whatsoever. Coffin does a massive amount of damage on Sinclair. Sinclair is very strong at the moment, but very, very pleased to see Rayek play the way he did. Some really, really strong gameplay from his side of things. I think it's hard to play a good scouting haze as well as have massive impact with those sleep daggers.
Yeah, we do. We know the teams that have made it through, obviously, to champions, to week 1. And I think that would be interesting, right, to see, obviously, the dynamic of these teams then playing on a regular basis, of how they're going to be looking week to week, some of the gimmicks that might be involved as well. It would be kind of fun to see how the story progresses there. I think generally as well, like, very exciting grand final with how they've played that. You could see some nice head-to-head from them. There was a lot to look at. I think it's kind of hard to pinpoint, really, too much of a difference between the sides. Obviously, again, it's one of those with servers. One day when we're all on LAN, there'll be no contest in terms of the internet being a fact, but it's obviously always very nice to see Hydra Nation, even if they are kind of in the hyperbolic time chamber of having any kind of disadvantage, how well they perform with some of the not only teamwork but individuals that obviously at times it can feel a bit oppressive trying to translate that in Deadlock when you've got a high ping, but never looks like it gets to a man.
Absolutely. I think it's always a fun one being able to watch Hydra Nation. I think they're a very strong team. They're playing something slightly different from what they were usually going for, but you boys over on Lotus is very, very good. I think Sanya was a little bit over aggressive at times. Let's be honest. Let's be honest with them. But I do think overall they had a very, very fun time with that game. You could tell they were having a fun time with it.
We will have our MVP soon. Hopefully I'm making sounds now. A bit of tech issues on our end, but should be fixed. And we should have the MVP soon after our AI decides, who's made the most impact this game. But Jacky and Blank, do you guys have any personal biases as to who you think should take that MVP title?
That probably good for Rayek, honestly. I think that good Haze players who are in that role of scout are kind of underappreciated at the best of times. And I do think he had some fantastic sleep daggers throughout the majority of that match. Even in his previous matches as well, you know, it's just nice to see a good Hage player because they don't come around very often.
No, I'd agree. I think Ray played a really good game. I think it was very impressive as well from two other notable names there on the side of Lotus. It was the team that won this, getting the MVP overall. I'd say Pyro looked very impressive in terms of how self-sustainable he was on Yamato, right? Being able to go for those big fights, but still keep himself in, even when he's kind of out position at times. Only other, I think name that would be notable to mention was Coffin as well, just with the actual quick follow-up from the aim capability of the Vexing Bolt. Like, it was always mechanically very on point. And I think he was ending like 30k damage overall, something ridiculous with how he played that one. So it was really nice to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's just slight abuse, slight Sinclair abuse, right? Honestly, I think for Coffin, he did have a good game though. And again, if you could hit those Vexing Bolts and send them up really high, and then just crash them down again, and we saw that kill across the Lord Dead End, which just looked brutal, by the way, in those final moments. Then yeah, fair play to him.
Second, third, and fourth place prizes. In first, we now know it's Lotus. In second, we have Hydronation. Third and fourth is Beans on Toast and Fearless Furies. And all of these contestants win a cash prize alongside Face It points.
Yeah, get those.
EU stays winning.
Yeah,
Sorry, Blake.
That's what you'd hope in an EU tournament, right? At the end of the day. But I do think that Lotus, again, I think we talked about a little bit at the start there, is that I think that they have had some very high moments in their past. They've had some low moments as well.
Yeah.
But they do consistently come back. And I mean, because Metacle, who was, a lot of people just saw him as a Shiv player, seeing him now today on Pocket as well as Mirage was very, very fun to see. And I don't think he was a bad Mirage player at all.
No, not at all. I've got a lot of time for this team. I think genuinely, like, they're very fun to watch. Every time we've seen them in different tournaments, the way we've seen them progress, individuals as well, I think they kind of hit all the core trifecta of what you need to have good choreography in Deadlock. Like, the mechanics is there, the movement's down, but the macro is also very sound from them. And then obviously that one last element that takes everyone is communication. I think they have a very good job of being able to do that. I've always sung their praises for that. Just a fun team to watch in general. So really happy to see them being able to take away first prize from this. Very, very cool.
No, yeah, but this was super cool. While we wait for the MVP, I just want to give a quick thank you to Face It again for enabling us to do any of this. So thank you to Face It for giving us the points and just giving us a platform to play Deadlock on. We will be launching a hub soon, so you can play anytime you want with our Dead Air community, Blank.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I think that people should join in. If you enjoy competitive Deadlock, I know that right now, at least in the scene at the moment, we have a lot of players looking for more comp side of things that they want draft to be coming. Hopefully we can kind of facilitate that through the Dead Air Hub in the future. So definitely look out for that when we do get around to it.
Yes.
A lot of things.
Lots of stuff coming up. It's
we're
cool.
We're brewing.
Lots of stuff cooking in the kitchen, including our AI just coming up with the MVP. But I do have some news for you guys. We will have merch coming soon as well. Woo! Announcement. We're going to be creating an official Dead Air t-shirt dropping soon. High quality cotton just for you. And it's a limited drop. So we'll let you know as soon as we have news about that. So you can be the first one to scoop one up.
Yeah, you saw the little teaser. Me and Blank, obviously, when we did the last live podcast, we had the little kind of the demo of what's to come. I think it'd be awesome. So some really cool stuff that's being chefed up in the kitchen, the Greek kitchen. It's got all kinds of seasonings.
Up here in the clouds. Sorry, I'm role playing.
And it doesn't affect the flavor, even though we're at this high of an altitude. So
no, it doesn't. Yeah, we actually take like some clouds and we put a little bit of the clouds on there as well as like garnish.
Bit of angel cake sounds heavenly.
Ooh. Well, like that's the white in the cotton. We pull it from the clouds.
Yeah, I was thinking more the mayonnaise, but yeah,
the analogy's kind of.
It's there. The vision's there.
Yeah, it's layered. It's got layers to this.
It's got layers. But we do have the MVP ready. Can I get a drum roll, please, guys? And it is, oh my gosh!
Mr. Rake himself. Fantastic. Honestly, I mean, 8-4-18 from that last match. Good plays all around. I think that you'd be happy on the team. And I think it's nice to highlight heroes and players who they might not have like a ridiculous amount of on-screen impact. But if you look and delve into it, they did have a huge amount of presence in that game.
Oh no, absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head there as well. Being able to set up the team, right? It's one of those. The assists really do matter, especially on a haze like that. And it's also even just some of the impact that didn't result in a direct sort of kill or sort of being able to save someone. It's just sort of the space that was created off the back of the sleep dagger. Very effective haze plays. Heads up calls as well with how close it was and some of the timings. Like he gets swooped, instant sleep dagger, create space for the team. So yeah, I think, rightly so, fair enough. It was a very, very supportive, valuable player to what MVP is, deserves the artisan mouse mat in my mind.
Well done. We will be sending that out soon to you shortly, and you will be able to enjoy the luxurious feel of a Japanese mouse mat. It's lovely, honestly. I have one. It's great. But we will send that out, and that will get to you. We will hopefully be able to see pictures. Ooh, pictures for the future MVPs to be jealous and hopefully gun for that MVP spot. But otherwise, that is it. We have wrapped up our tournament for today. We have the grand final winners. We have the 4 qualifiers. What else is there to say, Jacky?
Just generally, thanks for watching. Obviously, thanks for all of the teams that took part as well. Of course, really great turnout for competitive Deadlock. I think it's awesome to see that overlap of players who are maybe a bit more casual. They've played a lot of hours. Blank finally having an opportunity to come together. Bit of fun for everyone. One day, best of ones. It feels like you've gone to an epic clan, but it's all in the clouds and we're all dressed up.
No, yeah, big thank you over towards Face It, our production team, Misty, Cashy on observing, as well as our moderators over on Twitch chat. Thank you very much, Isabel, for dropping that into it. Thank you to you guys, to you two right there for helping set all this up. It's been a great job, and really do appreciate everyone in the chat as well who have stayed and stuck around with us today whilst we sorted some stuff out earlier. But I think since then it's been pretty smooth. So thank you so much, guys.
Everyone gets one. Everyone gets one to figure their things out. It's fine. But if you didn't figure your team out in time for this qualifier, make sure that you gather your gladiators for the next one, because we will be having an NA-style qualifier for our Season 2 in, I think, about a month. Something around there. So you have that long to get ready. You, at home, you.
Indeed.
But otherwise, I think we will be closing it up. And thank you again to you at home, you, and to our production team behind the scenes, making it all happen, our head admin, our observers, and our producer. We couldn't have done this without you, so thanks so much again. And yeah, I mean, what else is there, really?
I guess just see you back for challenges, right?
Yeah, we'll see you for champions.
Yeah.
In a couple of weeks or something. So we'll get more news and information out to you about that. So keep an eye on our socials. Link are down below. Link singular. But yeah, we will get more info to you about champions shortly. And we hope to see you around for that as well with these teams who have given us, honestly, a really good show. So I'm excited for 3 weeks of that. That's going to be a good time, Jacky.
Oh yeah, it's going to be beautiful stuff. Like you said, more information to follow when we know when Champions is kicking off. We'll communicate with the team. So thanks so much to everyone that played. Beautiful stuff all around. A round of applause, guys. Great show.
Yay! Good job, everyone.
We did it.
All right. We'll see you for Champions, guys. Goodbye.